All right, what is up, everybody? It is the RP Ginger here, and we are going live with session 5 of my March of Annihilation campaign, which is a West Marches style of game set in the Tomb of Annihilation Wizards of the Coast module. I have a couple of guys here joining me tonight, and they are going to be following the Port Nyanzaru guide by the name of Musharib, this albino dwarf, on his quest to reclaim his ancestral home, Hrakhammar. Taken from him by fire newts and volcanic eruptions, the party has agreed to assist him in claiming what is rightfully his homeland. Before we get started, we will let everyone introduce themselves. We're going to go in this order: Charles, Corey, Ian, and then, Matthew. So go ahead, Charles, say hello, plug anything if you want to plug anything, and we'll pass it along.
All right, well, I am Bjorn Wayfinder. I'm a barbarian, and I kind of just tagged along that adventure just to get out of town and get a couple favors with the guide.
Go ahead, Corey.
All right, so my name's Corey, member of the group, nothing to plug. I am, however, not playing a Goliath teardrop. It's Fletch Garrett, the man destined to save the world, or so he thinks, as he's guided by his goddess through the forests of Chult.
Go ahead, Ian.
Excellent. My name's Ian. Nothing also to plug. I'm playing Menez, a human barbarian. Really looking forward to the game.
Last but not least, go ahead, Matt.
Hello. I am playing Haroon, the turtle fighter, the wandering nomad who somewhat stumbled into town and has graciously and very happily decided to become an adventurer. And that's it.
Very cool. An interesting time to decide to become an adventurer when the ever-lurking presence of the death curse, which strips away any ability to resurrect oneself and steals any souls to those who dies. Being an adventurer is more dangerous than ever. And this party has decided to get in contact with the rock gnome captain by the name of Ortame Swift and Dark. Some of you may have ridden with her before. She sails the Brazen Pegasus, this sloop fitted with 4 cannons. It's one of the fastest ships to come from the Bay of Chult. And normally she ferries people from Nyanzaru to any offshoot islands, Kalimport, Lutan. Anyone that's coming and going from Nyanzaru usually takes Ortame's Brazen Pegasus. But you four, along with Musharib, have convinced her to sail along the Mistcliff into the Great Sea and around to the southern west, or the southwest peak of Chult. You're going to be docking at a place called Silku Bay. And your quest today, like I've said, is to help Musharib, this pale white-skinned dwarf with a white beard and a receding hairline, and he wields this great maul called Skullbash. And you can probably assume what that looks like, and it's but he seems like he knows what he's doing with it. And his quest is to reclaim his homeland, Hrakhammar, a once great dwarven forge which laid in the mountains of Chult, the Kobold Mountains. And it was this forge that one of the first forges of Chult. But the dwarves were chased out of it due to the heavy volcanic eruptions, and then, even worse, creatures that he calls fire newts. These human-like lizard folk that love hot places. Very dangerous and good with weapons. They chased out the dwarves, and it's been many years since Musharib has been to his homeland. But he has convinced you all to help him. We cut to the scene of the Brazen Pegasus riding out of the Bay of Chult. It's a beautiful sunny day. Nyanzaru behind you. You hear the cacophony that is the sounds of Nyanzaru. You look back and see the vibrant walls of all colors of that the city has painted itself. It's a very beautiful place and exciting, peaceful, relaxing to be there. But you know that just a few steps outside of the wall turns from jovial occasion to life or death. Those who have been outside the walls of Chult know how dangerous and how unforgiving this place can be. Yet again, though, being the adventurers that you are, you set out and riding now. A couple of days we montage past of you guys working your asses off on the ship. Menez has gotten you passage, but you've been working hard every single day under the strict orders of Ortome. What we're going to do now is cut to how you guys are assisting the ship. Basically, you're going to tell me a skill that you are proficient in and how you are using said skill to assist the group and help on the ship and make your passage that much better. We're going to go in the same order that we introduced each other in. So go ahead, and the order will be Charles, Corey, Ian, Matt. Go ahead, Charles. What is, looking up your character's name, is it Bjorn, sorry?
Yes.
What is Bjorn doing? What skill is he using? How is he helping the ship sail?
All right. Well, seeing as he's a barbarian, I'll be using my athletics to help, like with the ropes and moving around heavy stuff or whatnot, and really doing anything that can be helpful. Because it is not the way of my people to just stand there on my ass and do nothing.
Perfect. So go ahead and make me an athletics check. Let's see how helpful Bjorn is.
Mm, 13.
13. So the wind catching the sails, constantly pulling at the rigging. You find yourself constantly at work, always doing what you can to make sure that the rigging is tied tightly, that the sails are flowing in the right direction. And with the weather that changes in Chult, where it goes from sunny to rainy to stormy to sunny to stormy, all within a day, you're definitely kept busy. And your strength is appreciated, but it definitely is hard work for you.
All right.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Fletch. Sorry, I'm trying to learn everyone's names now.
All right, so Fletch is on board the ship, and he starts chatting people up, getting a general feel of like the morale, and he notices a group that's like really not down with being in Chult, and he overhears them talking about mutiny, and so he kind of barges in and is like dissuading them from doing anything, and he becomes of his noble purpose. I'm here to save the will purify everything. Don't worry, you can count me, and all of this will be over before you know it. And then you'll go on your way. Everything will be better. Just trust in me for a little while. And then he starts to sing and his channel divinity to and become a travel across.
Corey, you're kind of cutting in and out on me. Maybe try turning down your bandwidth. The last little part I could barely hear, actually. And you're frozen in space and time.
I'm not sure how to do that.
So there's like a little bar next to the camera that would look like a signal bar. Click on that and then just turn it from auto HD to maybe down. I think if you get down to the second lowest, your camera still works, but it's a lot less stressful.
Better?
Yes, for right now. Go. So basically, you're singing a song was the last thing I heard. Sorry.
He's singing a song to up their spirits, so performance.
All right, let's see how that goes.
12.
12. All right. It's a good performance, but it's been months now since the death curse has swept in, and anyone who lives a life of adventure or excitement or danger does so at a very large gamble and a high cost. So you dissuade the mutiny, but you can still tell that your happy sing-song and your holy quest to save the world is not necessarily cheered them up. All right, Menez, what you got for us?
So, Menez is is going to use perception. Actually, what it is that with her navigation tools, she's it's been a while since she's been on the sea, but and at the present moment, she's actually just at the bow of the ship, just like taking in just the salty waves and wind just to cool herself and to kind of clear her head. But majority of the time she's spending using the navigation tools, just making sure that the course is as good as possible. But it is, as I said before, it's been a while, so it's she gets 9. Sorry, one sec. 9, 10, 11, 12. She gets 12, so she's a bit rusty with this.
Okay, yeah, 12. Again, not quite high enough. So as perceptive as she is, I'm going to say we're going to kind of cut forward after the last character, Haroon. But basically, as you're perceptive, you notice that on the second day, Ortome reveals to you all that she didn't just take this voyage out of the goodness of her heart or the payment. She suspects that pirates have an outpost somewhere along these cliff sides. She's done battle with them before multiple times with other adventurers, and she tells you that she agreed to this because she really wants to find out where these pirates are hidden out. And you, on the outlook, Menez, happen to miss it as you guys come around into the Jahaka Bay, which is on the western side of Chult. Keeping your eyes peeled, you miss it, and before you know it, this large frigate is upon you all. The Brazen Pegasus is one of the fastest ships in Chult, but having missed that perception check, they are going to get cannon fire on you all. Now, Haroon, what are you doing? How are you assisting in this as this large frigate with 8 cannons, 3 masts, and a lot of sails starts barreling towards you out of Jahaka Bay? Ortome, just as she figured, they must be hiding out here somewhere. Their outpost must be here. You know that you can't fight them on this small sloop. How are you assisting? You know that you have the speed, but you also know that they're catching on you, and it will be moments before cannon fire is shot out.
All right. What already? It's been athletics, perception, and what else?
Your mic is also being very robot-y. I would try the old bandwidth thing, or maybe something
all the way
going
down to the bandwidth, all the way down to the bottom.
Might be a wiring issue then, but I can kind of hear you. Oh, I might have spoke too soon. I can't hear you now. Jinxed it.
Sorry.
Oh, there you are. So sorry, what are you doing?
All I got left is use my insight to maybe where the pirates exactly attack from and how they're going to catch up to us, or best like direct the sailors, like what side of the ship they need to go to.
Right. So yeah, your mic's still pretty cutty, but from what I'm guessing, you want to do an insight check. I'd maybe try toying around with your wiring to see if you can get that mic working a little better. And if not, maybe a different mic. But for now, go ahead and roll your insight. It does sound like the crackling is kind of like a wiring issue for sure. But let me know what you roll. If you did speak, I cannot hear you, sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Is it any better?
Not a whole lot better, but I can at least hear you.
I'm not sure I can do that. Mike, let me try to roll then.
All right, what did you roll, sorry?
Four, that one.
Perfect. That's what I like to see, gentlemen. All right. So using the insight the best you can, you're not necessarily the most insightful when it comes to being at sea, I guess. And taken by surprise, Ortome calls out, "Everyone brace yourselves! They'll be firing on us soon!" And with a total of 3 fails, only Bjorn was the one that ended up being helpful. Everyone make me a dexterity saving throw. And then you can either yell it out or type it in the chat what you rolled. Oh, boys, this is what I like to see. Nice low rolls. 8 also? All right, Charles. You better get your backpack ready because it looks like you're carrying these guys for the rest of the session. All right. So those who failed, which is everybody but Bjorn. Yikes, that's going to suck. Go ahead and take 12 damage of cannon fire. You take half of that, Bjorn. 6 damage. I guess it's best to get the bad rolls out of the way now. So like I said, as this ship behind you, it's called the Emerald Eye. It has this black Jolly Roger, and in it is literally like gemstones that make this eye shape with a big gleaming green gemstone right in the center of this flag. You see Captain Zoroman leading the chase, and cannon fires boom off, and as you all duck and hold on to what you can, the cannon fire rips through the ship. You hear a couple men scream as they're hit and flown overboard. Everyone holds tight, though, and with that, the Brazen Pegasus is the much faster ship. So you take your licks, but yet you open up to full sails, and you turn out into the sea itself, waves kind of crashing up. You literally get air as you're coming over some of these swells. Landing, you look behind, and the frigate is getting smaller and smaller. The Emerald Eye behind you. Still an exciting day, and Ortame notes to you all that she would bet money that somewhere in that bay is that pirate outpost. Something to bring back to town. Nonetheless, the rest of the time, she thinks that with the speed that they have, the pirates will deem it not worthy of chasing after you all. Your third and fourth day are passed without any other problems, and you finally make it to Silku Bay. You see that lava is still erupting through the Kobold Mountains, and literally you see magma kind of seeping out into the ocean itself, down the cliffside into the bay, Silku Bay. You get this distinct smell of sulfur. And as you look at the water, it just is incredibly toxic looking, as the magma has this sulfurous component to it that obviously makes this bay not a very beautiful or tropical looking one by any means. It's as if someone dumped a load of garbage into the entire bay. The black water just scorches along the cliff sides. But however, towards the northern part of this bay, you see the other side of the Kobold Mountains and the canopy of jungle. This is your entry path. Musharib, speaking up, says that first we must go through the jungle. From there, it's about a 4-day walk. We will find the Valley of the Lost Honor. Another 2 days of hiking up the Kobold Mountains, and then we will find Hrakhammar. You all are still ready for it, right? The pirates did not get too many licks on you, did they?
Of course, I'm ready and able and willing and everything. Let's get to it.
Very good. Ortame looks to you. Well, those bastard pirates, they did the shipping good. I guess we'll dock with the men and repair what we can, chopping down trees from the jungle. How long do you all think you're going to be? Musharib would reply, about 8 to 10 days. If we're not back by then, we are probably dead.
Before leaving, I tell the captain that the pirates can wait, but we'll definitely go back in that bay and figure out where they are so we can take revenge on that attack we had a couple days before.
Yes. Ortame looks to you. She's this like 4-foot tall captain, but as you've watched her sail for the last 4 days, literally she commandeers this ship like an utmost professional. She rode through storms. She sailed the Mist Cliffs, which is a treacherously treacherous place, known to sink ships, but not for a moment did you see her falter in her ability to captain this ship. And as she looks to you, she says, it's not the first time I've encountered these pirates, and I doubt it'll be the last. But one day, we'll get the upper hand. I think if we bring this information to Zindar, we might be able to finance a campaign against these pirates and get them out of the bay once and for all. If you would like to join us, then you're welcome aboard my ship, Bjorn. You were a worthy sailor.
Right,
the rest of you could use some work, but at least you tried.
I thank her and carry along.
Yeah, absolutely. The men kind of give you like shoulder pats as you go out. They enjoyed your presence. You were big, strong barbarian. The others get like kind of like a respectful handshake, we'll say. Like, nice, thanks for coming out. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you all in 8 days. Musharib hops down. Oh, the jungle air. It has been a long time. Are you all ready for some adventure? I tell you. Go ahead.
Haroon will speak up. Say, I am always ready for adventure. Come, my short little friend. Lead the way.
He laughs. And one thing that you've noticed about Musharib is he's an albino dwarf, which is kind of native to Chult. So literally every day out in the sea, he slathers himself in this thick lotion. And literally his face is just dripping with it, and it's like glopping into his beard. It's all over his arm. He has a big glop of it on his nose. And he just says, yes, I don't like the sun very much, but once we get into the jungle, and even better, once we make it back home to Hrakhammar, I will show you the greatest dwarven forge that you have ever seen. We will take it from these blasted Phytonewts and claim the rightful glory that is Moradin's gauntlet.
I tell him that we shall feast in his home, Hrakhammar, after we kill all the fire newts.
Excellent. All right, you guys hop off the ship and begin your trek into the jungle. So is there anything else you guys would like to do before actually going into the jungle? This is where the heat of the expedition is going to be. So if you want a short rest, I will allow for like some hit dice to be spent. I know you guys, some of you took a licking from that cannon fire, so that's what your hit dice are for. Days have passed, so you technically you're not getting a long rest like I've talked before game, but you can spend your hit dice if you want, as it is like a moment of not action right now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what kind of dice are we getting back?
So basically your hit dice, it's going to depend on your class. Who was asking, sorry?
Bjorn, so barbarian.
Bjorn is a barbarian. I believe that's a D10.
It's 12. Well,
D12.
my hit dice is 12,
Yeah.
so I take back 12 life. Is that how it works?
No, so you'd roll you're level 3, so you can roll up to 3 D12s and add your COD modifier. And basically, those represent your kind of like short-term healing. Once you spend them, though, you don't get them back until a long rest, and you only get half of your level back worth.
Okay, I get it.
So yeah, anyone that wants to spend some hit dice, just go ahead in the chat and type that you're doing so and how many you spent. I don't care about the healing that you received. Just going to keep you guys modest about your short resting. And from there, you head into the jungle. You have about an 8-day journey ahead of you now. You're going to walk through the canopy of the jungle, these thick, suffocating trees. And as you get inside the jungle canopy, you think that, those of you who haven't been in yet, that the trees above blocking out the sun is going to provide some shelter from this blistering warmth. But the humidity as you get inside gets even worse. And it's essentially like walking into a sauna. Your gear and your equipment that you have absolutely sticks to you. You quickly just guzzle through your water, and it's shocking how much water you need in a day to actually keep yourself hydrated as you're literally climbing over giant trees and vines and making your way through on this very strenuous hike through the forest. So at this point, again, I know we just kind of did one, but anytime we enter into the jungle, what we're going to do is more of these skill challenges. And this time it's going to be to see how exhausted you end up from this travel. So once more, keeping the order the same, what skills are you using to help in this hike? Go ahead. We'll keep the order: Bjorn, Fletch, Menez, and then Haroon.
I'll use, I'm not sure if that's possible, but acrobatics. So like if there's any branches or whatnot, I can just like hop over them and try to keep my strength for walking longer distances.
Yeah, absolutely. Tons of chances for acrobatics to be useful here. Go ahead and roll it. Tell me what you roll.
16.
16. You swing from vines to vines, climb over trees, and lead the path with your nimble, dexterous ability. While others lag behind you, Musari, being a short individual, really struggles in this jungle. You essentially jungle parkour your way through it, looking pretty badass while doing so. Who next? Or not who next?
All right, so Fletch is going to kind of take out his small bow and kind of scout a little bit ahead of the to see if he gets anything coming.
All right, let me know what you roll, sir.
Somebody use stealth as my 2.
2?
22.
That's what I'd like to see, buddy. You're making me happy today. So yeah, you try to be stealthy, but maybe
Wait, I think you misheard me. It's 22. 2-2.
Oh yeah, that's not as exciting for me, but really
that makes a difference.
It's good for me.
Yeah, good. Great for you. 22 is more than enough. You literally disappear into the canopy for hours at a time, keeping basically like a parallel path to your party. You scout out ahead, keeping them in sight at all times, but looking around, you see tons of dangerous, poisonous snakes, large dinosaurs that would threaten to hinder your party, but you scout ahead and find a path that takes them through for now, momentarily safely. Menez.
So Menez is going to use survival, just triple checking, because Fletcher's like a lot of times he's like gone up ahead, just like checking for us, but for just what is in our immediate, she was looking for any dangers, any like sort of bogs or quicksand or anything like this. So she's survival, and she does 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh.
So, Menez, we'll say that as you're doing your survival check, trying to scrounge for basically substance, you find a promising looking plant that you know could be used for hydration. But as you go to do it, you accidentally kind of stumble into a nest of giant wasps, which I believe Menez is familiar with. And there is a montage scene of you guys just running through the jungle at top speed, trying to get away from this swarm of wasps. Menez, apologies, take 4 damage as one nips you in the butt. Go ahead, Haroon.
We'll use athletics to try just strong the path using his great, total bulk to branches out of the way and be a clear path for his short. And he will roll a 20.
20. Absolutely. You make no. Sorry, what skill were you using again? You're still cutting out on me a bit.
Athletics. I was like bowling my way through the jungle.
Yeah, you're just literally like hacking your way and stomping through turtles being these big lumbering creatures. You make no work just stepping on these vines, crushing your way through, and you literally bulldoze your path through the jungle. It's at this moment that you all have to give me a Constitution saving throw. You've done pretty well, but with one fail, your DC is 11. Con save, DC 11. Go ahead, gentlemen. Just type in the chat, pass or fail. I can tell that Ian looks real happy already. You watch it, Corey. I'll come after you. Fail.
Seriously. T-Rex falls out of the cloud on top of you.
A flying T-Rex descends upon you all. 16.
I mean, you get caught in the camp and get flung, I'm sure.
I'm sorry, I was away. What happened for the save?
This is to see how exhausted you guys are. So basically, the skill challenge was setting your DC. And as long as you roll over 11, then you are not exhausted, and you make a decent amount of travel through the jungle without it being too arduous. I believe I am missing Matt's con save or Haroon's. If you are speaking, I cannot hear you. Apologies, my friend. Type it in the chat if you can hear me. Oh, we have a new Matt joining the party. Let's see if that assists. I still can't hear you, unfortunately, Matt. I'm going to go on. Go ahead and type your DC or your con save in the chat, though, if you can hear me. DC 11. So, while we try to figure out the technical difficulties here, I apologize, everyone. Those who rolled less than 11, Menez, you find yourself with a point of exhaustion, as this trek through the jungle is an especially grueling one. The heat is really getting to you, and the water skin you find yourself constantly drinking at always seems to be empty, and you, desperate at one point, maybe go and consider to drink out of the river water. But Musharib would tell you absolutely at no cost should you do that without first boiling it. So maybe we find ourselves in like a small stream or a river, and Menez is filling up her water skin after freshly boiling out some water. You all at that moment feel a tingle down your spine. All of us, even though humans and the other races have evolved, still have this primal thing, this innate ability in them to sense when something of grave danger is coming. And you all feel that sinking stomach, or that sinking feel in your stomach. Literally, it feels as if your guts have just sunk into the bowels of your stomach, and the hair is standing up on your necks, and you just have goosebumps. You're sweating. You look around and you know something's off. And then you look up and you see it. The wingspan that momentarily blocks out the sun. A powerful red scales, at least the size of 4 to 5 men. You stand up to get a better look, but Musharib, shocked, jumps up and grabs onto you, Menace, and pulls you down, puts his finger over his mouth. You see a red dragon soaring above, and it's circling around. Everyone make a stealth check right now.
$14.
11.
11. All right. You see this dragon, this fearsome creature, this thing that is a destroyer of men, above the sky, hundreds of feet, circling around, looking for anything foolish enough to move. But you'd all duck down, and you watch it. Minutes pass, your heart pounding in your chest, and then finally, it flies away. It heads towards the Kobold Mountains, basically northwest of you all. Not necessarily the path that you are heading, but all too close, for the Kobold Mountains is where Hrakhammar is. Musharib lets out an audible sigh of relief. That was a close one.
Is it still wise to continue towards the mountains, knowing that the dragon probably has a nest somewhere in there?
Musharib would look to you and say, that was the red dragon, Tinder. She's known to live in the Wormheart Mines. And while it is part of the Kobold Mountains, we are going further north. A danger, yes, but as long as we keep our heads low and aren't foolish, she should not bother us.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. I'll do my best to be safe.
If not, we shall die in glory.
Just me.
I don't
There's
know
no
about
glory in dying to that beast. Only pain. I've known many dwarfs who have fallen. And with that, you guys, for the most part, make it through unscathed through the jungle. And you open up finally after 4 days of hiking into the Valley of Lost Honor. Musharib would tell you a story of an ancient warlord by the name of Rasnisi, who wiped out an entire tribe of Chaltons in this valley. It was a great war, and Rasnisi in ancient times seeked to overthrow all of the royalty that lived in Chult. He was once a proud champion of Ubteo, the primal god of Chult, but he turned against his god and used his powers to raise a necromantic army. And this is where one of the last fights were fought between his huge, massive, never-ending, never-dying army of undead, which still to this day plagues Neon's or the jungles. As you come into this Lost Valley, this Lost Honor Valley, you see that there's bones, old bones that lay everywhere. And basically old magma or lava that has hardened has basically encrusted itself over. And you see many of these skeletal hands reaching up as if this battle must have taken place while a volcano was literally erupting. They place absolutely smells of sulfur. You look around and it's just this absolutely like contrast to the jungle, this deep lush canopy of green. You open up into this valley and it's just a barren dead landscape of hardened magma. Skeletal remains lay everywhere, and as he points, it's like this clear path, this massive opening that leads up to the mountainside. And as you look into the Kobold Mountains towering high into the skies, he points at one of the higher peaks. Says, "That is where we will find Hrakhammar. Only a couple more days now, and not as troubling as the jungles."
How big is the magma field?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 90 miles long and about 20 miles wide.
Okay. So we're pretty much out in the open while walking through, right?
You can, if you choose to, yes, but you can also stick to the tree lines in case you do need to duck out of the way. It would probably make sense to do so instead of just walking right into the center of this wide open valley of death.
All right.
I see you're back, Matt. Any luck with the mic? Let's see if we can hear you. Not looking so. Sorry, my friend. I don't know if you have like a webcam mic or something. Maybe try switching it. That might help, but as of right now, cannot hear you, my friend. I apologize. We'll continue on without you, and hopefully you figure it out. Yeah, most laptops, if you're coming from a laptop, have like a built-in mic or something. If you actually click on the Hangout toolbar above, you can go to the settings and see what mics you have available, and maybe one will work better than the other. Till then, my friend, we're going to go on without you and assume that Haroon is just kind of following along. Everyone give me a perception check. Let me know what you all roll, as I'm not actually paying attention to the Hangout chat right now. I'm kind of looking at my own things.
I got a 9.
A 9? 26?
Oh, sorry, 22 for me.
22? And what about you, Bjorn?
18.
18. All right. Sorry, what was Fletch again?
Fletch got a 9, so he most
yeah.
likely failed that shit.
You don't see anything, but
I have a quick question about that.
Yep.
What's the passive perception? That's not what we're talking about, right?
Passive perception basically is your innate awareness as you're walking through. So if something's trying to stealth by you and you're not actively looking for it, that's what we're testing against, is your passive. It's basically like when you're not actively looking, how aware your character is.
What is it based from?
It's based off of a natural number of 10, and then you add your perception modifier. So if you're proficient in perception, you would add your proficiency and your wisdom modifier. If you're not perception, just your wisdom modifier.
Okay, cool.
But for our purposes, we're not doing passive. We're just rolling.
Yeah, this is more of an active check. As you're looking around, you see this two-legged creature. It almost looks like a large ostrich at first, but it's this deep red, scaly color. Bird-like, but also a mixture of lizard-like qualities. This very primitive creature. It's called a giant strider. This lizard-like bird with this magma-encrusted beak, towering high. It rips across the valley. You guys duck out of the way for you see it. And you see about 3 of them. And on the back of them are these heavily armored, glowing red, lizard-like humanoids. They're wielding these giant spears that look like they're made of like adamantium. The armor themselves is very basically like spiky and jagged and glimmering the silver dark metallic like material. They have these chain shirts over top of them, and their skin scaly in the distance. It's still like quite a bit away, but you literally see these fire newts riding on the back of these giant striders, and it's as if they've swallowed magma. Their skin is literally glowing, and you see 3 of them ripping by on these giant striders, these ostrich-like lizard birds, up to the mountain. Musharib, ducking down, looks to you all and say, "How much do you want to bet they are going to Hrakhammar? I think we found our way."
So they went past us, right?
Yes.
All right, I get it. Well, that sounds like a good plan.
Sounds like to you all, it sounds like a direct path to where you need to go. So, what do you all do?
Yeah, I think Menez, who's just really feeling the exhaustion, but saw these newts just with these creatures like going up. As she's down, she keeps her, even though they're a distance away, she still keeps her voice down, and she says, "If we can follow in their direction, just from like a safe distance, if we're lucky, perhaps we won't encounter more of them."
All right. So, do you guys wish to do so stealthily, or do you...
Sounds like a good plan, Menez. I think you're right. Let's try and stay a little hidden if we can, and hopefully we can make it there unfound.
Oh.
So yeah, it's up to you guys. If you want to do so stealthily, make a group stealth check. Oh, I think I see Matt.
Hey, I'm back. I think I found a workaround.
Nice. Yeah, and we hear you crystal clear. So I never did get your con save. Where did you roll for a Constitution saving throw?
Let me roll that right now then. Sorry.
No worries. Technical issues do arise when using Hangouts.
I have no idea what happened. My dog yanked out my internet cord and it just went to shit afterwards.
Sounds like you're having your own random encounter of your own.
Yeah.
Got a 8.
Perfect. Enjoy a point of exhaustion. So, you've been trekking through the... how much... I forget where you left off, so I can just quickly recap for you.
That rolling the Constitution save, sorry.
Okay, so things that you have missed is that a red dragon was seen soaring above by the name of Tinder. Apparently this red dragon that lives around the kobold mines, which is actually kind of where you're heading. But Musharib told you, no worries, as long as we lay low, she doesn't live where we're going. From there, you made your way to the Valley of the Dead, which is this Valley of Lost Honor, which was this big battlefield, lots of dead bodies and magma hardened. And you're basically now following some giant striders, which are being mounted by fire newts. That's about all you missed.
Oh, yay.
So you begin your climb slowly, quietly, ducking behind. And soon as you start to make your way up this valley of lost honor, you start to make an embankment up the mountain, the Cobalt Mountain itself. You begin this incline. And no longer can you take the safety of the jungle. You have to duck behind stones. And as you do so, these big black, like bulbous stones that are rupturing from the ground, you find purchase hidden behind them. As you peek up the giant striders in the distance, you still feel an immense warmth of these stones, as if something volcanic still is very violently swelling underneath. And you can look above and you see these giant sulfurous clouds of black smoke billowing out of the peaks of the Cobalt Mountains, a very active volcano still. The heat begins to get worse. You did not know that it was possible to get this hot at this point, as we're now into the temperatures of thinking Fahrenheit here. We're getting up to around 130 Fahrenheit, just absolutely blistering hot. I'll need one more Constitution saving throw from you all before we get to Hrakhammar. I don't know where you're from, Corey, but you stuff it.
Bro, I guess like 122 here, 125 in the summer.
Yikes.
21. Let's go.
Nice.
I got a 20.
20. Excellent.
13 for me.
13 is more than enough. Menace, what did you roll?
14.
14. No more exhaustion. You trek through it, and though you're all sweating profusely, you finally make your way to the surface or the entry of Hrakhammar. You see in this cliffside. Let me see if I can actually find what I'm looking for you. Come on, computer. Don't freeze on me. All right, let me find it. Yeah, you see literally in the mountainside are these two large, probably at one point once impressive iron doors. But now as you look at them, a bit of hardened magma has swollen over one and basically locked it in place, and the other one has fallen over and is completely rusted. And as you look, you still see the occasional drop of magma, like a little water fountain, drip down and burn into the iron door. This door that's about a foot thick of pure metal has this magma drip into it, and you hear it start to burn away.
Where are the striders?
Give me either a perception or survival check if you want to try to track them.
All right.
Haroon will just sit there staring amazed at the doors because he's never seen anything like this before. Just kind of slack jaw, like, ooh.
Is the 13 the newest, or is that from previous roll?
Previous, but I still got 13.
Oh, coincidental. From what you tell, as you've obviously had to slow your pace. The striders leap up these mountains with little effort. You, however, on this incline, it's a little bit more strenuous, and you've lost track of them. But as you look around, you do see that there is signs of tracks heading in through this door.
So it's just one of the doors that is closed shut. There's still like passage we can go through.
Yeah, and these doors are massive in size. You don't know why dwarves need such big doors, but it seems like they just love to like show off with these massive, thick iron doors that seem to always lock away their ancient forges. But this one, however, has been toppled over on one side, which is more than enough room for your entire party to walk through comfortably.
Yeah, Menez grips her axe a little tighter and just like begins to head, like really like using the perception, like looking and stuff, but just making her way in that direction, looking back to her companions just to make sure that they're sort of hopefully with her.
Perfect. Lead the way. I'll cover you as I stay in the back.
And Haroon will try to like make his way towards the front of the group, trying to lead his way into the ruins.
Yeah, Mushariba will walk in the front too, as he says, I would bring shame to my family if I was not one of the first persons to walk through the doors. Allow me. I will show you in. But use caution, my friends. These fire newts are very dangerous. And he begins to walk through. And as you do, you open up into complete darkness at this point. Who of you all has dark vision?
Not me.
Human, you're all humans, right? Except for the turtle, so no one does. The dwarf, however, sees, so he begins to walk, and as you guys just kind of stop fumbling down these dark stairs in complete in complete darkness, does anyone light a torch, or do you just kind of blindly fall?
No, unless told different. Menes takes out from the side of a backpack. She's got like a hooded lantern, and she starts to just trying to light this up. Actually, so she begins to do that.
I'll uncheck my battle axe just in case we get some surprises.
Yeah. So you kind of light up this narrow passageway. These dark stones have been carved out into the side or inside of the cliff. And as you start to walk down about 40 feet down this staircase into darkness, the flames kind of tickle out and create these shadows that always seem to be swallowing you almost. You begin to feel the heat rise once more. And after traveling down these staircases for about 40 feet, you see these iron tracks reinforced by wooden panels, presumably mining cart track, open up in front of you, and it basically you walk into a passageway which seems to be naturally, or not naturally, carved out by the dwarfs. It's like a kind of cave-like area, and you open up into this bend of mine track cart. And as you come down to the bottom and into this tunnel shaft, you see in the distance, about 20 feet away, opening up is this glowing hot room, and you literally see the heat swells coming from it, and you hear the bubbling of magma. As you look around to your left, you see that the minecart track carries on for a good distance, and then to your right seems to be an opening of dugout cave long ago by the dwarves, you presume, and then in front of you to the north, the train cart also continues off, and you see it opens up into what looks like a bridge of stone.
As soon as Menes sees this light ahead, she covers the hooded lamp. She squats down and she looks towards the dwarf just to see if he's going to give any specific directions in which first to go.
Yeah, he would tell you that following the bridge northward will lead up into the heart of the forge where the smelter is. From there, he doesn't really know where the fire newts have taken up home. It's been many years since he's been here. So he'll tell you that this is a pretty big area. The caves to the right basically lead up into a craning system, which is used to drop raw minerals, raw ore and whatnot into the lava and to melt it. And basically to your left, the tracks will follow up and basically be a point at which they used to export out their goods. So it leads back outdoors. And so yeah, north leads inwards more, right is kind of a detour, and left leads back out but a different path.
Everyone will look into his dwarven guy and say, the fire newts like living in the heat. I guess we should go to where it is hottest. That's probably where they'll be.
That makes sense, my friend. And he begins to do so. He walks out and he opens up into this enormous room. You find yourself on a stone bridge. You see a cavern of molten magma bubbling and flames before you. The cavern walls are lined with metal gantries, and there's cranes that support immense crucibles of scorched clay. Huge chains hang stretched across this cavern, apparently to shuttle multi-ton buckets of ore across the gaps. The heat takes your breath away, and it's you struggle to keep your eyes open as it feels like it's gonna burn your retinas. It begins to bring water to your eyes, and you feel as if your skin is literally baking. From where you stand, you could follow the bridge across, or jump down onto the stone pathway and basically make your way across the chain conveyor belt. You look around. Everyone give me perception checks, actually.
Perception.
12, 10.
So what is the bridge coming across? What's under the bridge?
17.
Under the bridge is a whole bunch of magma.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Yep. So anyone who rolled higher than a 12 hears from the north, following this bridge that you guys find yourself on. The bridge kind of ducks away leftwards further into the tunnel, but you hear the faint sounding of pounding metal.
Yeah, just in case anyone missed it, as we're all going to this place, he just raises the axe in the direction of where the sounds are, just so that everyone notices that.
Yeah, Musharib under his breath whispers, "I swear, if those damn fire newts are using our smelters, I'll burn all their faces into it and make armor out of their hides."
Well, I'm sorry to stop you there, but I don't think burning them will really be that effective.
You're right, actually. Fire does very little against these creatures. But you know what I mean.
I understand. It's theatrics. Action with your hammer.
He begins to walk forward. You know that Musharib isn't really a man of subtlety, though. As he begins to walk forward, you feel the energy of him being home. This is the first time he's walked into Hrakhammar in many, many years. And with you behind him, and finally his mission, his conquest to reclaim his home, he is ready for a scrap. So he is walking forth, Skullbash pounding against his hand as he's ready. Obviously, if that's not the route you guys wish to take, now would be the time to say so. You're muted.
Yeah. Menez places her hand on his shoulder and looks to the rest and says, "We need to formulate some form of plan. Walking straight into this could be a quick death for us."
You're right. Running would be better. It'd catch them by surprise.
Or maybe it will be a quick death for them. Catch them by surprise is a good idea.
So,
Haroon. So say Haroon's clearly unnerved by being underground. Turtles do not like being anywhere where they can't see the sky. We'll just bow towards Manus and the rest. I'll leave it to you, my friends. Well, I will do whatever you think is best.
I say we go with the dwarf, as he knows his home best, and we could take advantage of his rage and his resentment against the fire newts.
Menez is obviously going to go with everybody, but there's a moment where she's sort of in this blistering heat, it's just like she just thinks to herself, she looks a little reserved for a moment, as if to say, this is a little bit crazy. This could be the, but yeah, she takes one step back. Obviously going to go with you guys, but she takes one step back.
So the plan is to let Musharib barrel roll in there and deal with the consequences?
Yeah, but I would...
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, we're going for it. But I would precast, so Fletch is going to pull his bow, and he's going to say kind of an incantation as he says, "Goddess guide our hands," as he casts Bless on I guess he would choose himself, Menez, and Musharib.
Nice. Musharib has bless.
Yeah.
All right, let me add that to my Musharib so that I don't forget, because otherwise I will.
I'm sure I'll remind you. And then he's also going to pull his bow and say, Orana, give me your power, as it lights up.
All right, excellent.
As I get my shit out of the way.
So he doesn't just like full on idiot run in, like he's not that dumb, but he does begin to walk forward, and he's kind of slapping Skullbash to the beat of the hammering, and he walks forward proudly, as a dwarf would, being finally reunited with his homeland. And the hammering sounds grow louder and louder, and he just keeps the rhythm as he's picturing himself working away in this forge that was taken from him. But as you open up into this chamber, you realize that the hammering is not coming from where you open up to, which is this enormous rectangle chamber. You see that there is a working smelter, a rectangle pit in the center of the room, which is filled with molten iron. You see 6 devices of dwarven design and make arranged around this pit, and it's siphoning off this liquid metal and drawing out the impurities. You also see a smaller pit, which is basically right next to you guys as you open up into this room. And as you look to your immediate right, it looks like it might be molten silver, just this shining, glimmering red or gray liquid. Creatures, however, that look a lot like a mix of a humanoid and an amphibian with an elemental of fire are tending to these machines, and they're kind of working away at the smelters, drawing out the impurities. And Musharib walks up, pounding Skullbash, and he says, "It is I, Musharib, albino dwarf of Hrakhammar, and I have returned to reignite my ancestors with what is rightfully theirs. Come, fire newts, battle me!" And he, "Hurrah!" Everyone roll initiative. Fire newts. For the record, you see about 8 of them. All right.
I got a 15.
15 on Haruin. 18 on Fletch. 18 on Menace. Where's Menace?
I got 2.
2?
Yeah.
Menace, you're blasting out the rolls tonight, my friend.
I actually got a 22.
22? That's Bjorn?
20. Yeah, I got a 20. Yeah.
Okay.
22 total.
So, I don't know if you guys want to track it for yourselves. I don't track initiative in the Hangouts, but anybody that wants to, it's going to go Bjorn, 2 fire newts, Fletch, Musharib, fire newts, Haruin, fire newts, and then fire newts, and then Menace. I don't know if you caught that, but that will be the initiative order. Bjorn, you're the first to react.
All right. So I will let out a war cry and charge the closest fire newt to me.
All right.
I'm gonna try and position myself so Musharib can follow after me as well.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll your attack.
Um, 16.
16 is going to be a hit on these fire newts. They're wearing chain shirts and shields as they pick it up and hear you guys coming. Their AC is 16 for the regular fire newts.
All right. So I roll for damage.
Yep.
That'll be 4.
4 damage. What do you hit them with?
great axe.
Great axe. You run up, and as you do, this fire newt stands up, picking up its weapons, actually a scimitar and a shield. And as it does, this red lizard-like tongue kind of licks up and tastes the air, the heat. You chum up, charge into him, cut into his chain shirt. You don't do as much damage as you thought you were going to do, as this creature stands about a little bit taller than you. Anything else on your turn?
Nope.
All right, the first pack of fire newts, 2 of them, spring into action. They're going to immediately go after you, Bjorn. They flank you immediately, swinging their scimitars, rolling a 17 to hit and a 22 to hit.
They both hit.
All right, here we go, my friend. You take a total of 7 on the first and 3 on the second, total of 10 damage.
All right.
They now flank you and simultaneous go into a flourish of blades, bashing you with their shields, hitting the great axe away and cutting you at the openings. Clearly sentient and trained beast at militant arms. Fletch, you're now up next as Musharib is still yelling out in a battle cry. You see Bjorn run ahead and engage in combat.
All right, so Fletch is going to see Bjorn surrounded and say, "Oh man, it looks like he needs help." And he'll take his shots. Let's see. So the first one is 12 plus 3 is 15, so it's too low.
Yeah,
the
you
second
bashed
one's
into
a
its
miss.
shield, or you shoot into its shield.
Yeah, they're both misses as he takes the shots and the arrows fly off the armor.
All right. Excellent. Musharib, anything else in your turn? Gonna assume no. Musharib charges into action, muttering to himself the verbal words of Hunter's Mark. He marks the fire newts that are fighting you, Bjorn, seeing the opening that you left. He then charges in and swings at them. Unfortunately missing. The newt turns around with a tail whipping and kind of almost trips him. He stumbles into the fight, but now engaged with you, he yells out, "I will reclaim Hrakhammar." Another pack of fire newts then jump up from the smelters. They're going to go after Musharib. Both of them also picking up scimitars. Lunge forward, trying to hit Musharib, missing. The other one reels back and starts to regurgitate stuff. And you see as if he's like as a mouthwash of lava or magma. He then spits it out. Musharib needs to make a dexterity saving throw. And he succeeds, so takes half damage, and basically jumps out of the way, tumbling backwards. Magma spits out of this fire newt's mouth, catching his leg. You hear the burning of flesh and the smell of his skin burning. Haroon, you're up next.
All right, Haroon will run up to attack the fire newt that just spit at Musharib, swinging with his maul for nat 20.
Hey, I'll do it. Double your dice. Add the modifier once.
2 more d6s. And roll. 20 damage.
Holy crap.
I'm muted. Describe to me, I've been talking for so long too. Describe to me, Haroon, what it looks like as you finish off a fire newt in one hit.
He just kind of... Totals aren't even fast when they're charging, so it's more like a heavy lumbering up to the newt. Seeing as it's just like slung its head forward, he comes in with his maul, just like side swing baseball bat, hits it right in the front of the face, like knocking it backwards a good, probably 5 feet, implementing all his strength into it.
Yeah, and you just
Est-ce que ça dérange?
full on knock him dead, one hit. Anything else on your turn?
Pas obligé de la mettre au plus fort là, mais.
He will just turn to Musharib and it's like, "Don't worry, little friend. We got this."
Hi, thank you for having my back. I'm glad I took.
Nope, you muted.
Yeah. Charles keeps muting me. Charles, stop that. Next up is another fire newt. So after Haroon, fire newt, and basically seeing you come into battle and just knock one of them cold dead, Haroon, they're definitely going to go for you. Charging forth. Again, give me a dexterity save. As one cuts into you, you turn your back to it. He hits your shell, doing virtually no damage to you. But then the other one starts to spit up this fire. I need a dex save. DC 11 dexterity.
DC 11, you said?
Yep.
And 11, just on the nut.
All right, half damage as he spits out. You've seen him do this before, so you now know what to think. And they hit you for 8 damage, halved.
So 4.
Yep. All right, that brings us to another pack of fire newts who is going to charge at you again, Haroon, seeing that you're the first one to do the most damage. And here comes 2 attacks. Both missing. So Menez, you're now up.
Yeah, so Menez, seeing that Haroon is soon to be maybe swamped, even though having travelled with him before, she knows that he can really handle himself. She joins him. She just like sprints in there with a shield and axe, and recklessly, as she goes into a rage, tries to slice into one of these newts and she gets a natural 20. And
you know what to do.
So what is that? That's 1. That's so what is it? I rolled die 8.
D4. A D4 added onto your attack roll.
Oh, so I did 24 damage to that newt.
Sorry,
Nice.
let me just say one more time. So I rolled a die 8. Do I roll it twice?
Yeah, you roll your damage dice twice.
Got it. So what's it? 8. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus a die 4.
Nope. Bless doesn't increase damage. I think he just mistook what you
Yeah,
said.
sorry, I misunderstood.
So she just like slides in with the one that like tried to belch out this fiery stuff and just tries to like cut it along the side of its arm for like 4 points of damage.
Yeah, that's 4 points.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, you do. And then you get the attention of them instead. Instead of 4 of them fighting Haroon, a pack of them decides to go after you, but they've used their turn. So that will bring us to the top of the initiative. Bjorn, you're able to swing back into combat as things are beginning to quite literally heat up. These creatures emanate a whole plethora of heat as if magma is sitting in their bellies. They glow with burning hot heat to them. You're currently engaged with 2. What do you do, Bjorn?
Okay, so I will enter my Barbarian Rage and swing again at the same fire newt that I attacked first.
All right, yep, go ahead. You're locked in combat. Them both readying up their shields now, seeing you kind of walk around, swinging your great axe, I believe, from one hand to the other, trying to find an opening. What do you roll?
17.
17 will do so. You lunge forward, hacking into them. What is your damage?
Mm-hmm. 11.
11 damage. Very nice. 1, as you hack into him, a battle cry yelling out through the heat. You almost cut him down. He's very badly injured. Anything else on your turn?
Nope.
All right. It's as if lava drains from their veins as you cut, pulling away. You just see their blood somehow infused by this molten magma. It will hiss in return. This one hasn't tried to use its fire attack yet, so they both synchronize, flank you. Give me 2 dex saves. DC 11 on both. This is to you, Bjorn.
Yeah. So the first one is 4 and
That's not good.
6.
4 and 6 in total.
Yes.
Yikes, that's gonna suck, bud. What's gonna really suck is I did max damage on the first one. Good luck. Total of 22 damage.
All right, so I fall under 0. I have 17 HP left.
All right. So you're unconscious, or?
I believe so.
All right, yeah. If you go down to 0 HP, then yeah, that would knock you unconscious. As they just cover you in magma fire. Fletch, you're now up. As you see Bjorn just swallowed by fire, what do you do?
How many newts were attacking him?
2.
2. Okay.
I have a quick question. Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
So my rage, does it change anything about that?
Normally, so only because it's fire damage, no, unless you have some ability that somehow lets you resist elemental energy like fire. Normally you would resist physical damage, but these guys are literally just shooting fire onto you.
And the advantage is only on strength checks?
I believe
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
strength saves and checks, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right. Fletch, what do you got? You see your buddy go down, Bjorn, the strong barbarian.
So he's gonna go, come on, Orana, I need this. And he's gonna try and sharpshoot these two.
All right.
All right. 12 and 3. 15 again. God.
Ugh.
And then second shot. Okay, second shot hits. We're in there. So that's 13, 4. So he shoots one with his bow as he holds back and lets it fly, and it goes unnaturally fast as it slams into him for 17 damage. Magical damage.
Do you want to hit the one that's super badly injured, or you want to hit the one that hasn't been touched at all?
I'll take the one that hasn't been touched.
All right. So yeah, both of them now on the brink of death. You suspect that hitting them each one more time would probably finish them both off. But they're both like literally just barely hanging on. Anything else? As you just 2 arrows or 1 arrow in the back of the head.
I'm gonna walk backwards and maybe crouch behind something.
Yeah, as you walk behind you, there's tons of like just random smelting equipment and tables and whatnot. You could even go behind a table and find yourself probably half cover from any normal range attacks. You don't know how well it would work against their fire breath. But nonetheless, you back up. Musharib charges out, yelling in anger as he sees these fire newts bring down Bjorn. Someone who has helped him get this far. He will not let you pay the price. And he swings, hitting into the first one, swings again, this time missing. He cold clocks one of the fire newts and bashes its face in. Its snout kind of just dements in from the pure rage of Bjorn. 1 fire newt down from the first group and 1 on the brink of death. That is it for Musharib. He yells out, "Somebody help Bjorn! No one is dying today." The 2 fire newts, though, in the rage, Musharib's forgot that 2 is behind him. They come stepping in. You hear the thud of their webbed fingers against the stone. Scimitars drawn, hacking. Musharib ducks out of the way, pulling up Skullbash, and then both scimitars come landing on Skullbash and basically chunk away part of the bone of the maul, but he pushes them back off, dodging both attacks. Haroon, you're now up. You have 2 fire newts on you, and close by you see that Menez is engaged with 2 fire newts also. She took the pressure of the 4 fighting you off and cut it into half, but there is just an absolute chaos in this smelting room as everyone is engaged. What do you do?
All right. Haroon will lean over, having seen Bjorn go down. He'll turn back to the 2 engaging him and just utter like a deep, like almost bestial roar at the 2 of them and take another swing. $14. So that's a miss.
14 to hit. That's a miss, unfortunately. Anything else?
What else I got? Think that's all I can do for right now.
All right, so yeah, you let out this roar, this hissing sound, angry giant turtle, and then you swing your weapon. The newts pull up their shields, blocking it. Sparks kind of fly. They're up next. and they are going to try. They can't. Let me see. Can they recharge? No, it recharges on a short rest. So they've used Fire Spit. They are going to try to scimitar you. Rolling a. Go ahead.
I'm a AC 17, just so you know.
AC 17. Unfortunately, they rolled an 18 on the first strike. Let me fix that though. 1 second here. Sorry. Get out of here, you. There we go. All right. So first scimitar cuts through you. Your hard turtle skin, though, they find very luck cutting through it. 2 damage. The second strike, rallying back, trying to find purchase on your backside. They swing into the back of your head, rolling a 22 to hit. Another 5 damage. Menez, 2 fire newts now. You're basically praying your weapon as they try to find an advantage on you. They have not used their Fire Spit, so give me a dexterity saving throw.
Absolutely. Can I use Danger Sense to have advantage on those dexterity?
Yeah, and technically I think Charles might have had that too, actually. Right? Danger Sense? What level's Danger Sense?
Absolutely, he definitely gets that for sure. I was just going to ask with Charles also, is what barbarian are you? Because...
Yeah, so Charles, you actually, sorry, that's my apologies. I missed that. You have Danger Sense probably. Reroll your dex save. You might have rolled a little better.
Oh, all right. So I reroll both?
Just roll one more dex save.
Okay.
Because you roll at advantage.
11.
11? Still, or not, that's your save. So instead of, what did I say, 22 damage?
That was 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take half of that, 11 damage. Does that keep you up this time?
Yes.
All right, so you're up. A little bit of retcon. That's my apologies for forgetting about Danger Sense. Thank you, Ian. What did you roll, Ian?
14, sorry.
14? That's a save. Half damage on the spitting fire. As they use up that ability, you take half of 5 damage, total of 2. And then the other lizard-like fire newt comes up behind as you're rolling out of the way. It swings for a 16.
Oh, it hits me solid.
Hits you solid, cutting across you for an impressive 6 slashing damage. If you're in a rage, you do resist that.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, you're now up. As they both are upon you, you see that the stone floor from the fire spit that they just released is literally being burned away by this magma heat. What do you do?
13. She rolls with this with the attack that was given to her, and she just like slashes her axe, but it goes wide. She gets 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yikes. So yeah, you're troubling. The heat is really getting to you as you feel it burning at your eyelids. You literally just like having this wince and basically water coming up into your eyes. You can't get a good lock of them. You swing with might, but they jump out of the way. These creatures are used to this heat. This is their climate. We're back to the top of the initiative. Bjorn, you're barely clinging on. You look at your arms from the fire spit and you just see that you have like 3rd-degree burns on your arms. There's still a bit of like magma dripping on your arms, but you don't care. You're in such a rage. You know that it's life or death. Still, one on you, very badly injured, and your friends are all seemingly engaged with the rest. What do you do?
I'll start by swinging at the last newt in front of me.
All right, if you roll higher than a 16, describe how you kill it, as he literally has 2 HP left.
Well, I don't, so I guess my pain prevents me from being able to connect because I rolled an 8.
Damn. So yeah, the rolls tonight are just hindering you guys. Your great axe meets his scimitar and sparks kind of erupt in both of your faces, and this lizard-like creature's snake-like split tongue licks up in the air and almost licks you in the face as it hisses. You just see its mouth open and just feel the heat coming from its mouth. You're engaged in this combat. It is going to try to knock you down. Knowing that this is a fight to the death, it rolls an Jesus, I'm rolling high. I'm rolling really high. You guys are rolling low. I rolled an 18 to hit.
Yeah, that hits me.
This is slashing damage, so you do resist it. 6 reduced down, so 3 damage.
All right.
Fletch. Fletch. things are taking a turn for the worse. Your friends are fighting as hard as they can, but it's seemingly having a hard time getting through the armor reinforced by these fire newts. You know that it's going to get bad quickly if you guys don't start landing strikes. What do you do? You're muted.
All right, so he flicks his bow to loosen the string a bit. He's like, I need these to land. And so I know that there's the weak one in front of Bjorn, and then are there any other ones that look injured?
The ones that are fighting, let me see who's fighting them. There are two that are one that's basically no. There are a couple that are injured. Sorry, the one that Menez is fighting has a small wound on it.
Cool. I'll take that one. So the first one I'm going to shoot is the one next to Bjorn with a crit. Let's go.
That's the one that's was that 2 HP you said?
Yep. So it is dead.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
So he lets the arrow fly, and it just sinks into the side of its head as it topples over, and you hear the metal clank against the stone, and then begin to burn as the magma fire blood trickles out of it. And then he takes his second shot at the one next to Menez. Let's see, for 18.
Gonna do it.
As 8 damage comes in as the arrow finds purchase between some links in the shirt.
Yeah, 8 damage is almost enough to put him out, but he's still clinging on. Anything else on your turn?
Nope.
I believe we're all completely forgetting about your bless, though. So really try to remember that. I know you cast it on Musharib. I'm going to remember right now, but I don't remember who else you cast it on.
Menace has it too.
Menace has
and
it?
I've been
Okay.
using mine. So
Okay, yeah, sorry. That's why I was going to put it on my character sheet, because I literally almost always forget about Bless. Musharib comes charging in, seeing that one has been finished off. He's going to charge in at the ones that are now fighting him. He rolled a miss, but with Bless, a hit. There you go. Bless working. He switches his Hunter's Mark to them also, and he lands 2 strikes, both because of Bless, actually, as I rolled a 4 on the first one and a 1 on the second one, which pushed it over the threshold. Musharib charges in. The first one, Skull Bash. Bash is, ooh, that's max damage, plus Hunter's Mark. Woo! So the one that Haroon killed, his other friend in one shot, Musharib turns around and just Skull Bash to the gut. The lizard keels over in pain, and then with its head kind of like leaning forward, he 2 hands swings on top of it and crushes the skull of this fire newt right into the stone, taking him out in 2 attacks. Not quite as impressive as Haroon, but you're now up next, Haroon, as you're fighting with 2 of these fire newts, neither of which have been hit yet.
All right. Still in his completely focused on the 2 he's fighting, he uses like the actual haft of his hammer to like shove one back a bit to get the room to swing, and we'll roll for Nat 20 once again.
Hey, nice job. Double the dice.
For 19 damage.
Whew. That guy is, again, almost taken out in 1 hit by you. As Haroon literally hits like a truck. What's your weapon again, sorry?
It's a maul.
A maul. So
Yeah,
yeah,
maul.
you just swing this maul, and as you land purchase, when you finally get behind a strike, you hear the cracking and crunching of these lizard-like creatures' bones. Anything else on your strike? As the one gets hit to the ground, and it picks himself up, and as it does so, you can see that one of its arms are clearly broken.
Can I use my bonus action to make an intimidation check to try to run him off?
I'll give it to you.
All right. Roll. What's my thing for it? Intimidation. Oh, so just a flat 20. So let's see here what I keep.
What you got?
Rolled a 12.
Roll a 12. Not quite enough to intimidate the creature. It will turn around on you, basically going into that flank position that they've been taking up on everyone, fighting in packs of 2. One lunges forward with its one good arm, rolling a 15 to hit. I'm guessing that doesn't do so.
Nope. Nice shell gives me 17.
Slams into the shell as it does literally no damage, not even nicking your hard tortle shell. The other one comes in, rolling a natural 1, kind of tripping over his buddy, falls down to the ground. The other ones that are fighting Menez are now up. One badly injured, the other fine. Menez. They're going to come forth with their scimitars. Not really. That's basically what they have. 13 to hit on the first one and 16 to hit on the second.
1 hits me solid.
All right. Total of 5 damage, which you can reduce down.
Yep.
And now it is your turn to strike back. As
Absolutely.
they hiss in excitement from hitting you, what do you do?
Yeah, as I get hit, having seen just before that, one of the arrows from Fletch just like nails into one of these. She does, let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 with the bless, including the bless. She just sees an opportunity and just like tries to slice up with that. Doing, oh, does it hit? Yes, it does. It's 16. Yeah, it does. 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 to the one that's been injured with the arrow in the side.
Describe what it looks like as you take him down.
Absolutely, she just like carves him literally in 2 as she just like comes down and just cuts him down, and he splits in 2 as he crumbles to the ground, and she's finished.
Nice job. The fight has turned in the favor of our adventurers, as only 3 fire newts remain. 1 very badly injured. 2 fight Haroon, and 1 fights Menez. Bjorn, 2 dead fire newts lay at your feet by your own hands. You are clinging on to consciousness as the burning heat bakes your skin. What do you do?
So I turn around and I take out one of my hand axes to throw it at the fire newt that is closest to Haroon, which is injured, I believe.
Yes, sir.
So I hit 22.
That will do.
For 7 damage.
You spin around and you pull out a hand axe and just line it up and chuck it. It whips through the air. You see the heat kind of just like emanating from it as it does. Like literal heat waves are coming up from the cement. The creature turns around, hearing it whip through the air, and catches it right in the left eye and falls down dead. 2 fire newts remain. Anything else on your turn?
I move closer to Menace to prepare myself to attack on the next turn.
Fletch. Fire newts lay dead all over the floor, but yet 2 remain. They know that there's no escaping. They will fight to the death, and they will try to take one of you with them. What do you do?
All right, so Fletch is going to try and take his shots here. The first one is absolutely terrible. It's 5 plus 8 is not enough. And then
bounces off his shield.
The other one is a 22, which is a solid hit. As it sinks in for 9 damage.
9 damage. All right. Enough to find purchase in the newt's shoulder. Putting him at that. Anything else on your turn?
Nope.
Musharib then charges for Hrakhammar, and he'll switch his Hunter's Mark. Missing. Oh, wait, Bless. Don't forget Bless. Miss. What did I say their AC is? Missing. And second attack. Hitting because of Bless. Nice. All right. He swings. I don't have to do that again. Oh, nice. It's already including Hunter's Mark in for me. That is very useful. He comes up with Skull Bash. He jumps in the air. You literally see this stout little dwarf jump up, 2-hand swing, and then just clock the fire newt square in the head, knocking him tumbling over into one of the iron smelters, denting it as he does so. He then lands on the ground, breathing heavily in excitement. Haroon, you're now up as only 1 fire newt is left.
Seeing that perhaps these creatures are not going to retreat or surrender, what I almost saddened look on his face, Haroon walks over to attack the last one. Just like raising his hammer over his head for like a pile driver. And rolling an 18
Double hit.
for 7 damage.
7 damage. Unfortunately, does not take him out, though. All right. Let me get that in there. Okay. And what does this last fire newt do? He knows he's going to die, so how can he fuck with you guys the most?
I think you would push someone into the molten metal if it was possible.
It's funny you mentioned that because
Stop giving the DM ideas.
I mean, I'm just going for realism here. That's what I do.
You do see him as you're all surrounded. Basically, one of these smelters that are siphoning the magma out, right? So there's basically these buckets that are picking up magma and basically siphoning out the hot, flaming liquid and leaving the imperfections of whatever ore they are melting down. He runs over to one of them, and basically with his hands pushes on the basket, which then swings it from one side of the smelter to the other.
Does he leave like the 5-foot area away from me?
Yeah, I'll say that he does actually do that. So that's
get an opportunity.
Yeah.
All right. Before he does that, roll the 10, so it doesn't matter.
Roll the 10.
Hey, that's what I like to hear.
Who else? Menez, and I'll say Menez and Haroon were. Who's this guy fighting? This guy was fighting Menez, so Menez can have it.
22. So
22. That'll hit.
Absolutely. As he turns to run towards she carves him along the back of his leg, doing 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Just take his leg off.
All right, 6 damage is actually not enough to take this guy down. So I believe Haroon, you're actually fighting him too. So this is your chance to stop him before he actually gets to it, as he's only at that.
Oh, I already made my attack.
Oh, you already reactionary attacked?
Yeah, he got it.
Yeah, that was the 10.
So.
All right, yeah. So yeah, you guys are taking the molten metal. Let me see how it actually works. Yeah, this is gonna suck real bad. Give me a dexterity saving throw. Who would be in the way? I'm gonna roll a d4 to see who he swings it at. 1. Sorry to Bjorn. Probably the worst person to take it to because you're so badly hurt. Dex saving throw, my friend. You're gonna want to roll pretty high on this.
But do you get the advantage from the danger sense?
Danger sense. You sense it coming for sure. Oh.
Okay, give me a sec.
What'd you roll?
So advantage, I can roll again because I got a 9.
Okay. Yeah. Roll twice. Take the higher one.
17.
17. You succeed, but not before some of this molten metal pours on you. Down your back, it instantly just like disintegrates your skin. You actually, this is going to be rough.
That sounds really bad.
I'm borderline scared. Half of 60 damage.
Did you say
60?
That'd be 30.
What's your max HP?
33.
Oh, you're good.
Well, I'm at 3 HP right now.
So you don't
double
die
you
outright.
out.
So you literally almost got insta-killed. You're only 3 HP away from being insta-killed.
Dude, if you felt that would have been the end.
Man, Corey, don't give out no more tips or anything, man.
So what happens? I fall at 0 or?
You fall unconscious, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So with that, that's his last desperate move. He's on the smelter. He grabs the bucket and just swings it over. And Bjorn sees it coming and he jumps out of the way, but not before some of this molten lava spills down his back and just literally gives him like an iron back of molten metal. He drops to the ground, instantly unconscious. What does Menez do as she's the next action?
Actually, Menez doesn't even. She disengages from this fight. Actually, she doesn't go for this this new. She goes directly towards Bjorn. She sprints towards Bjorn. Her action is going to be to first just take him by his arm, just drag him away from any more of this molten thing. And next, she's going to be putting her hand in and taking out one of these small vials and just trying to pour it into the side of his mouth as she like lays him on this other barbarian on his back and just tries to pour it in his mouth. Hopefully, some of this will go into him.
That's a healing potion.
Absolutely.
2d4 plus 2.
Perhaps you want to roll it?
I don't care.
Okay, great.
You don't have to need to it.
We've got 2d4 plus 2. We go 3. So it's 5, 6, 7. You get 7 points as this liquid goes. Some of it at least goes down into you.
All right, so yeah, you come back to life or come back to consciousness, Bjorn. As it is your turn, you just feel that searing pain along your back, though. As you know, you just sense that a lot of skin is missing back there. The creature who did it to you is standing on top of one of these smelters, and although he knows he's going to die, he looks pleased with himself, because I'm going to say that he caused you a horrible scar. I don't normally play lingering injuries, but with that amount of damage and surviving it, I think it makes sense that your character would have a horrible scar from this point forward.
All right. So I can do another action, right?
Yep, you're back. Basically, whatever healing he gave you brings you back to consciousness.
Okay, so I'll stand up and grab another one of my hand axes and try to finish off the newt that injured me.
You just got to roll 16 and you'll do so. He has like 3 HP left.
And that doesn't hit. 13.
You go to throw and then you just feel that skin that's gone on your back and you wince in pain as you throw it. The axe comes clattering to the ground just in front of the creature's feet. Fletch, you're now up.
So Fletch sees the creature put a smile kind of on its reptilian grin as he thinks, not today. And he pulls the arrow back and lets it fly, hitting for like a 22. And it does 9 damage as he just like right into the throat of this thing.
Yeah, and it falls back into the magma pits that all these smelters are siphoning out of. And the creature's body just kind of like sinks down into the lava as that's the last of them. As you all look around now, the fire newt's just kind of laying on the ground, sizzling. You see the waving kind of heat emanating from the stone itself. As you look around this large rectangular room, in the center of it is the smelting pits, which the one fire newt just shot one of the molten metal baskets at you at. There's 5 other of these, 3 on each side, basically flanking each side of the pit. Towards your left is another 2 tracks for mining carts, where presumably whatever they would mine from here would be loaded onto it and then pushed away down for export. And then on the top side of this room, off to the northeastern corner, you see a door. In the center of the smelting pit is an enormous crane, which is above the room by about 10 feet up high in this windowsill. And this large crane has this big basket of just raw ore that it would dunk down into it. The pounding of the hammers have now stopped.
How does it look the easiest way to get up to this this door, which is on the northeastern side?
So the door at the northeastern side, you could just literally walk around the giant siphoning pit to the door. There's a big long work table with all kinds of like smithy like hammers and whatnot. You see one mining cart is off the tracks and just has like a bunch of coal sitting inside of it. And if you just literally walk around the siphoning pit towards the door, there's nothing really stopping you from doing so.
Absolutely. So she's going to do that. But just before she does, she just like quickly looks at the rest of her comrades, making sure that they're just with a quick look, just see that they're okay, and sort of nods towards Björn, and she makes her way stealthily in that.
Haroon will walk over to Bjorn, seeing how badly he was, and really without even saying anything, just pulls a small potion bottle out of a pack on the back of a shell and hands it to him and takes him and says to him, "Here, friend, I believe you need this. You did well, not dying. Please, don't die." And he will hand you a potion. Do you want to drink it?
Yeah, sure. I nod to them both, being thankful, and I drink the potion. So is it?
Do you want to roll it, or you want me to roll it?
You can do it.
All right. You said it's 2d6?
2d4 plus 2.
2d4. Gotcha. 2d4 plus 2. 8.
8 healing points onto you, Bjorn.
All right.
As you feel a bit better, you do start to feel like some of your skin on your back magically heal itself through the healing potion.
And probably not thinking about what he's doing, Haroon will like clap him on the back, saying like, "See, much better, my friend." Not realizing he's slapping the fresh, now slightly healing burn wounds.
Well, I'll kind of grunt, but still tell them that I'm in debt to you both, and I shall return back that favor.
He'll just like hand wave you off, say, "No need, my friend. It will. Knowing that you are better is all that is needed."
Absolutely. Musharib kind of walking around the smelting pits. He's just shaking his head in anger. No. What have they done to this place? Look at the smelting pits. They have not taken care of this at all. These things are barely working. They have disgraced Hrakhammar. And he's just walking around and kind of kicking at it. And you do, upon his maybe you probably don't know a whole lot about the whole process of forging. Maybe some of you do. But as you look and he starts to point out, you do see that although things are still running around here, the fire newts know how to make stuff, but they definitely don't like make it artistically and beautiful like a dwarf would, and they definitely do not or have not been taking care of the equipment, so a lot of it seems to like barely be working. And as he now points this out, he just seems like utterly disgusted and even more angry at how these fire newts have been treating his homeland.
Musharib, collect yourself. We still have a mission to accomplish here. We can't get too out of our minds here. What's beyond this door?
Beyond this door is the armory. The armory will lead to the forge. From there, we'll have a choice of going into another part of the forge or going eastward, which will lead across a large magma rift. And this, my friend, is where we must head to, for this is where the treasury is. As long as we can find the keys for the treasury, we'll be able to get in. And that is where all the good stuff is kept. That is where Morden's gauntlet is kept.
All right. Before continuing, I assume there's not any way I can get back any health point while in the...
So what you guys can do if you really want to is basically go duck inside the cavern, which the mine carts to the west. You see the tracks kind of run down, and if you were to like peek inside these, you would see that it opens up into like a mine cart bay, and there's lots of like kind of nooks and crans that you guys could like duck into and take a quick 30-minute rest if anyone wanted to. I will give that to you guys, as I'm apparently doing 10d10 worth of damage if you guys get hit by lava.
Yeah, that is a bit. But, well, yeah, I suggest that, and kind of like hinting at my back. how horrible it looks like, and I'm like, I could use taking back my breath and then carrying on.
Keeping in mind, though, that the hammering has stopped and you don't really know where it's coming from. So you sense that there's at least been a commotion enough raised that there's potential that you've drawn attention to yourself. So if you go duck away for 30 minutes, we don't essentially pause. Things will continue to happen.
All right. How much, on a scale of 1 to whatever your hit point maximum is, how hurt are you, Bjorn?
Right now, I'm
30 damage. That's how hurt he is.
I'm at half hit point.
Minutes hearing this. Minutes hearing this. Sorry, go.
Yeah, so I would just walk up and say, there's no time to waste, Bjorn. Here, let me help. And I would put my hand against your back into the burn and use lay on hands to give you 15 HP.
What do we need to take the 30-minute break for me to use my second wind feature to get some health back?
Second win, you can literally just do as a bonus action, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to do that real quick.
Yep.
Yeah,
So yeah, basically you can short rest, but obviously there'll be repercussions to trying to duck in this cave.
Yeah, Liz thinks that's not a good idea. As she comes to you, and almost without there's no even hesitation, she just passes you another one of these vials. And as you take it, I'm assuming she takes out another herself, and she drinks one.
Menez is just a walking trench coat of healing potions.
Hey, I bought 3 of them in preparation for this mission.
Yeah, I'll remember to do that next time.
Yeah,
All
there's
right,
a whole like merchant page or thread on the Facebook group where you can literally find prices of pretty much everything, and that's what your gold is for, is buying shit to actually prepare for these terrible.
That's gonna be
Right.
cool.
So Menez gave Haroon a potion.
Yeah. So, am I getting hit points from the lay on hand or from the additional potion? I don't need all of that.
Everyone
Hey,
just wants to give you.
Hang on to the potion. I'm going to use lay on hands to give you the 15 HP. So, like, use the potion if you need it later.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you as well.
Your comrades don't want you to fall, so you receive healing. And although you know the sky will remain, for the most part, the pain has subsided. So you have disadvantage on persuasion checks now, but your horrible scar does give you advantage on intimidation checks. So that's something you might want to add to your character sheet. You now are scary, but not very nice to them.
All right.
Now you can call yourself Bjorn the Iron-Backed, something like that.
Yeah, I actually kind of imagine that there's like little parts of molten metal that have now like kind of solidified on your back, and it looks very unsightly.
So advantage.
Well, for a barbarian, that's probably attractive.
Yeah, advantage on intimidation, disadvantage on persuasion.
Okay.
You guys continue forward. You line yourselves all along the door. The hammering now stopping. You definitely get the sense that you've alerted whatever else lurks behind these walls. What do you want to do? As Musharib has told you, the next door is the armory. This is where you'll find a lot of the old weapons that we used to build. Battle axes, great axes, mauls, everything. We used to do the best work on Chult. Now, these fire newts have disgraced this land.
Haroon will like point down saying like, "Lead the way, my friends."
Absolutely, and just pouring down with the heat, with the sweat from the heat of this place. Menez tries the door, tries to open the door as he's trying to go through.
Just opening straight up or stealth opening?
Definitely stealth. No, that's the thing. To be honest,
Charge in ready to attack, or would you be pensive?
No. She just opens it. Stealth opening, slowly opens.
Stealth check for me then.
Yeah, absolutely.
DC 25.
He gets a natural 20. So that's 20. Yeah. 3.
Door opens. Go ahead.
No.
The door opens with complete silence, and as you look in, you see two large closets, like weapon closets, holding basically everything that he just said. Battle axes, great axes, mauls, morning stars, war picks, war hammers, heavy crossbows. You see literally, Fletch, you're gonna like this actually, hundreds of crossbow bolts, and literally hundreds. I'm sad that I've read that. And also 4 suits of dwarven half plate armor.
Would it take an investigation check to look for one, or can Haroon just like look for a morning star or something like that?
You find a morning star, 100%.
He'll look to his new dwarven little friend, kind of like a quizzical look, just fascinated by the intricate dwarven work on him, just like
He nods.
Like,
consider this payment for your help.
And then he'll walk over and give his nice dwarf friend a hug.
I do not like hugging. Please, walk away.
He hugs.
So Fletch just like, oh man, this reminds me of back in the training center, as he just starts building up. So he puts on the half plate, like gets it all strapped in, just starts loading up on bolts.
Dwarven half plate, my friend.
Oh shit! I'm lit.
You equip it on, and it's like flood pants, and like it barely covers your like pecs or whatever.
All right, well I'm taking it, and I'm gonna get that shit modified.
Yeah, interestingly enough too, plate is heavy armor. So while that definitely sucks in the jungle, you know that in Nyanzaru, plate sells for really well.
Well, if it's half plate, it's medium armor.
That's actually, you're right. Sorry. Yeah, it definitely is medium armor. So scratch that. You can definitely get it modified later on if you want, though, for a price.
I'm in. Sign me up.
All right. Anyone else want to grab anything? All right.
I'll look around to see if there's like a shield and a battle axe. So
battle axe? Yes. Battle axe, yes. Shields, actually, surprisingly, no.
Oh, well, okay. Well, no need for the axe then.
All right. So with that, this armory is like this rectangular room, 30 feet wide and 50 feet long. Basically, these tables and outfitting room. You see another door, southern now, though, and it's the only other door in this room. I'm going to say with a passive perception of anyone over 14, you do hear shuffling around in the next room.
Not me.
Haroon has 11, so he doesn't hear shit. He is too fascinated by his nice new morning star.
None of us have the wisdom. Does Mosharib have it?
Yeah, he does. That's why I said it. So he will, if no one else hears it, he will say, I think we have more friends in the next room. Shall we go say hello?
All right, let's go.
Yeah,
just kicking open the door. Surprise, motherfuckers!
What room? what is in the other room? So is it like the
part one of the forge? The forge itself is 2 rooms large.
Okay.
So kicking open the doors.
Absolutely.
If we're going to kick open the doors, Haroon will try to, offer his weight into the situation to act as a nice turtle battering ram that is, 450 pounds worth of mean green machine. Nice.
All right, I like it.
Not even kick. He literally just shoulder checks the door open.
Okay, give me. I'm setting myself up here. You guys are in for some fun now.
Oh no.
More fun.
More fun, everyone. Okay.
It's the undead Tarrasque vampire lich.
You all must while I'm setting up, just start rolling your initiative and then type in the chat Inish and then your number so I don't lose track of what it is. And I'm just getting everything else in since stealth is overrated on this adventure, apparently. I respect that.
Well, we're a bunch of fighters, so
yeah, no, it makes sense. Whether you guys will make it out alive is another story. Okay, 5 for Menes. Menes, you're not very initiative-wise. Not a very. What's that word? There's a word for that. I can't think of it right now off the top of my head though.
I got a 5 as well. I can't type it into the chat with my phone.
Yeah, that's fine. All right.
So just same as minutes.
You ninja kick down, open the door. It's only a wooden door, so it literally just flies down, and you see a grand total of 6 more of these fire newts. Although 2 of them are actually not clothed in chain armor. They actually have what looks like literal flaming arcane-like armor around them.
That sounds bad.
And in the room itself is a fuck ton of barrels carrying different kind of metal ores and whatnot, 2 massive anvils. And this room actually is the room that supports the big crane, which opens up into the siphoning pit, which is basically adjacent to where you guys just came from. A grand total of 6 of them. The first pack of them rolled a 21 and a 17. I believe, Haroon, you said you were kind of leading this kicking door down offensive. So they're the ones that are going to see you first.
Yeah.
And yeah, if someone wants to track the initiative, it's going to go Fire Newt, Musharib for starts. All right, let me target so I don't lose track. And then
Haroon will have like drawn his shield to try,
yeah,
to use his new Morning Star and like shield combo.
Yeah, that sounds wicked. They come charging forth, rolling a 16 and a 7. Neither one hit.
I'm at 19 right now, so.
Nice. All right. Yeah, you just hold up your newfound shield. Thunk, thunk, thunk. They start to slam off of it, at which point you start to wind up the Morning Star, getting ready to give it a true test. It's at this point that Musharib springs into action. His hunter mark he can no longer use anymore. He comes forth, yelling out another battle cry. This is for what you did to my forge. And 16 to hit hits. And a miss. Bless, I'm going to say, lasts for a minute, probably over by now.
It's over. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and skull bash some skulls. He bloodies the first fire newt. Next up, after Musharib, is, I'm just going to tell you the names of it so it's not confusing, the Fire Newt Warlock. And it is going to do some fun things to you guys. Haroon and Musharib, and who was behind them? Just tell me. Be honest.
I guess. Yeah, I'm following after.
All right.
I'm definitely second after Haroon.
You're definitely second after Haroon? All right. Give me a dexterity saving throw then. We'll do Menez, Haroon, and Musharib.
Dex save?
Yep.
I get a 4 and a... Oh.
It sounded good. That sounded like an excited gasp of excitement.
I get a 5, and that's even with like 2 rolls.
So your
19.
Your save is 12, and the Warlock Fire Newt holds its arms together. It's actually wielding a Morning Star. That's kind of interesting. It slams the Morning Star into the ground, and then burning hands right at the front door. I rolled terrible on the damage, though, so you guys only take 5 if you rolled less than a 12. Half of 5. Half of that if you rolled higher than that.
So half of what?
5, so 2 damage.
2, all right, so 28.
All right, Fletch, you're now up next.
All right, so he'll cast Bless again. He pleads to his goddess, says, "Guide our hands," and he'll cast it on himself, Haroon, and Bjorn.
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Give me a second here. I'm trying to initiative you guys a bit. Next up is 2 more fire newts. They're going to charge forth, and since Haroon, I imagine that you guys are kind of like blocking the door. You're a big ass turtle. They're going to charge at you. One of these is actually a warlock. So he is going to cast a firebolt at you, rolling a miss. You hold up your shield, and just another plume of fire kind of just breathes over top of the shield, but you're able to block off any of the damage. And then another fire newt is going to ready itself with a holy shit, they're spitting fire attack. So yeah, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Plus a D4 for Bjorn and Haroon.
Yeah.
All right. Not 20, so 20. Yeah, 25.
Half damage on 7, so 4 or 3.
3. All right.
All right, Bjorn, you're now up as a dog pile has formed on top of Haroon for kicking open the door. Fire and like bolts of arcane energy are just shooting past his shield, and he's doing everything to just hold his shield up and block off the attack. What do you do, Bjorn?
So how are the fire newts positioned? There's like 4. How many directly in front of Haroon?
Directly in front of Haroon are a total of 4 fire newts just hacking into him, and then 2 warlock newts are basically at the back of the forge blasting off spells.
Okay. How can I go past Haroon, or is he blocking the door?
No, I'm gonna say that you can shimmy by him. He's not like that big.
Okay. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna let out a war cry and try to intimidate them while charging and to stand beside Haroon.
Okay.
Um,
Go ahead and do your attack. I messed that up.
So that's 18.
18 is definitely a hit.
For 7 damage.
7 damage. Okay, perfect. Let's do it at that one because it makes sense. And that was the first one that's already been damaged. You take him out, chopping your great axe into his skull, easily taking him down. Haroon, you're next to act.
All right. What would I need to roll to try to take my shield and just put all my weight into shoving one of these fire newts back like as far as I can to help like move up and make room for everybody else start coming in?
Basically, contest with him.
All right. What would that be? A strength check or athletics?
Athletics.
Athletics. Ooh, I get +5 on that.
He rolled a 6, so he's probably getting shoved.
14.
14. Yeah, you push him back. I'm going to make the 2 in the back do a dex save to see if they stumble over him. Neither one does. But you push him back, kind of at least creating room to move.
Yeah, Haroon will do that, just like groaning. Not too much because he's not having to put too much weight into this thing, considering how much bigger he is. He goes, "Come, my friends, charge!"
Menez, Haroon has created a space for you to charge. What do you do?
Absolutely. What she does is she sticks pretty close to Haroon, actually just throwing her shield to the floor as she hears Bjorn's like war cry, and just holding a battle axe in 2 hands now. Obviously, I think armor class goes down, and she just smashes into one of these next to Haroon, and she does 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. She does 20.
20 damage?
No, sorry, 20 to hit. And
20 to hit. And sorry, do you want to hit the regular Fire Newt warriors or one of the warlocks?
She's hitting one that is the warlocks. I think are a little bit further off, actually.
Yeah, so they're kind of sitting at the back for sure. So yeah, you can attack a warrior. We'll say that I definitely have one that you can attack. The one that spit fire, kind of sitting in the front after the one that got pushed back.
Exactly. I'll go for him, and she does 6 points of damage.
6 points. All right. And as to that question, Corey, the forge itself isn't very big. It's about a 30 by 30 room, so they are sitting around, like basically ducking behind a large anvil. It's maybe giving them a quarter cover, and so they're about 20 feet away from you guys. 6 damage as you chop into them, yelling out, battle crying into the forge itself. The last of the fire newt warriors is going to use its spit attack on you, though, Menez. Give me a dex save, as you know what these guys are capable of. If you roll higher than 11, a half of 8. If you roll lower than 11, 8 damage.
Using a danger sense, so she rolls twice. The first one's force, no way, but the other one is over 18, so she passes with that.
4 damage as he spits up fire, not even worrying about avoiding the other fire newts. He just spits it all over them, and you get the sense that fire newts are completely immune to any kind of fire damages. It doesn't bother them whatsoever. That puts us at the top of the initiative, which is the fire newt that got shoved. Basically picks himself up and he charges at you, Haroon, swinging and missing. Musharib up next will engage with him, swinging Skull Bash. Go ahead.
Could I use she hasn't used it so far, but she wants to use now her sentinel. She engages the sentinel. So as soon as a reaction, when the one that's attacking Haroon, she does attack against.
Nice, cool.
She does 18 plus, yeah. So she hits.
Sentinel's a good feat.
5, 6, 7, 8. Absolute 8 damage as she just sees that opening, just like slices in with still the 2 hands against her.
And you bloody it really badly. You think that you could probably take it out. Next turn, Musharib. Is that it for your turn? Sorry, I guess that was the reaction, so I didn't necessarily ruin you. So Musharib, as you create the space, the other one picks itself back up and goes to run back in combat, but Musharib charges forth. Not so fast. You sit back down. And he swings uppercut and just clocks the thing with a crit and kills it. So Musharib, go Musharib. The Warlock, however, is going to engage on him. Looking at the spells really quickly. That sounds fun. Let's do that. Scrolling down to it. 5-foot diameter. Okay. Musharib must make a dex saving throw as a spear of fire emanates around him. He tries to jump out of the way. Let's see how that goes for him. Not doing so, so he takes 2d6 damage. And Musharib is now bloodied as he begins to burn in flame. And being the albino that he is, he does not like getting burned. You see his skin start to boil up. And he yells out in pain, "You newt bastard!" And that is it for the fire newt. Fletch, you're now up.
So Fletch aims carefully around Haroon to make sure he doesn't hit him as he provides aid at the door. So he's going to shoot just the 2 weakest ones he can. Both of them are hits, well over 20. First one does 5 damage. Second one does 9. As he just kind of waits for his opening and lets it fly just past Haroon's head.
All right. 9 takes down the one injured one. And then other than that, there's no other injured newts in the room. So that leaves 2 warlocks and 1 warrior. Who do you want to attack?
I'll tackle the warrior next to the door.
All right. 5 damage. Next up is one of the other warlocks, and it too is going to cast a spell. Let's see what it does, though. So many to choose from. I think at this point, it's just going to use a Scorching Ray. And that is, you create 3 rays and hurl them. So, Fletch, he returns fire back at you. Scorching Ray, natural 20, of course. So, Fletch, you take...
That's like 8 d4s of damage, isn't it?
No, not that bad. You take 15 fire damage. Menez shoots another Scorching Ray. This one over 20 to hit, but not natural. You take, Menez, 11 fire damage. And the last one, Haroon, he blasts for a... What was that? A 17 to hit, I believe. Double checking.
Does not hit. 19 right now.
19? Yep. He will then definitely miss. So, good for you. You dodge as he ray of fire, scorching rays just kind of blast out of the room, adding to the already immensely hot area. Bjorn, you're now up as 2 warlocks are left and 1 fire newt warrior, which is injured. A sphere of fire is still in the room and basically set on top of Musharib for right now too.
All right, so the last fire unit warrior is in front of Musharib, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Getting ready to whack him.
Free range to go and attack Warlock, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I will charge him and use my reckless attack.
Nice. Swing an advantage.
Yes.
Plus a D4.
As well as my feat Great Weapon Master.
Oh, cool. Nice.
So,
This will do some good damage if you get it off.
Shit, advantage plus a D4. He's got it, yeah. Probably 19.
And if he hits, that's plus 10.
What did you roll, my friend?
Just give me a second. Sorry.
The suspense. No worries. Mathematics is hard sometimes. That's why I always keep a calculator open.
Yeah, sorry. That's a 14.
14 on the Fire Unit Warrior is unfortunately a miss, my friend. Did you use Bless?
Yes, I did.
All right, so you swing with as much power as you can muster in your great weapon, but you miss, unfortunately.
All right.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right, Haroon, you're up next.
Okay. And the one that I had like shoved far away is dead now, right?
Yep.
Am I still like within close enough range to still be kind of engaged with the one, or am I like open
You're
now?
definitely engaged with the last warrior, and then the two warlocks are sitting behind the anvil, blasting spells at you of fire.
Then he will turn to that last one and almost like a backhanded swing with his Morning Star and roll a 15.
15's a miss.
Did you add Bless?
Plus,
I did not.
That hits.
Yeah, that hits. Go ahead.
Give
And
him 16.
Yeah. All right. So yeah.
Hashtag blessed.
Right.
I told you guys I was here with noble purpose.
What's that new Morning Star doing for you? Let me know the damage.
9 damage.
Hey, that's pretty impressive. Over bloodied, well on his way to experiencing what the death curse is all about, my friend. Nice hit. Anything else?
That's all he can do right now.
All right, Menez. The warrior badly injured, but you also have 2 warlocks to contest with after this. What do you wish to do?
Absolutely. She just wants to narrow it down, so she takes the warrior, just hopefully taking him out of the fight. Oh man, I'm changing my dice, man. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
12. Are you hashtag blessed? No, eh?
I don't think
Yeah, I believe he is.
It's Bjorn and Haroon right now.
Oh, okay.
All right. So yeah, unfortunately, you missed, my friend. Anything else you can do on your turn?
that is pretty much it. I did have a quick question. This is the wrong time to ask it, but I've got to do it. And that is with she is the bear totem, spiritual path. So am I still halving, even though it's fire? It says everything except for psychic.
Yeah, so it's half.
Yeah, it's half. Fire.
Okay, great. Chicken.
Yeah, that's definitely useful. All right. Geez, that probably would have saved you some damage for sure. Next up is that Fire Unit Warrior. You guys did not manage to take him down, so this one is a little smarter than the last one, though. So the last couple that you fought is going to add to your list of ever-growing problems. And he disengages and runs for the back door to the south of this forge, kicks it open, and reveals a room of 4 more fire newts that are basically lazily laying around in the forge. But he just like speaks out in this fire newt language, which is actually Draconic for anyone that speaks Draconic. If not, you don't know what they say. And then the other 4 fire newts spring to action, adding even more fun to the initiative because I thought that you guys were just feeling like you haven't fought enough fire newts yet. All right. That ends his turn. He disengaged, ran for the door. That puts Musharib at the top of the initiative. Nice. I didn't know he was there. He, however, is in the Spear of Fire, so he needs to dex save.
Plus D4.
Plus D4 gets out of the way. Literally due to the bless. The bless is working its magic today for sure. And then I got to get my spell back up. Sorry, I lost it. I forget how much Fire Sphere actually does. It is right here. So he takes half of that. 2 damage to Musharib as the brave mighty dwarf is now badly injured and burning. He jumps out of the way of the Fire Sphere and then will charge forth at one of the warlocks, swinging, rolling blessed. Hitting again. What is the ACs on these guys? Oh, they're only 10. The warlocks have shitty AC, so he definitely hits. Smashing into him with Skull Bash, rolling 5 damage. However, the fire newt, after taking the damage, mutters arcane words of rage, and you see fire burn in its eyes as it uses its reaction to Hellish Rebuke.
Just a question. The warlocks have 10 AC?
Yes.
Because I rolled a 14 earlier.
That was on the warriors. Did you swing at a?
Maybe we misunderstood, but I meant to charge one of the warlocks.
My apologies then. I definitely misunderstood you, so you would have hit.
All right. Well,
go ahead. Go ahead and do the damage. We'll retcon it. I guess I just misheard you. However, that's going to change my next phrase statement.
That's
Hashtag Hellish Rebuke.
Yeah, I was lucky that you didn't hit earlier.
Yeah.
So that's 22 damage.
22 damage? Woo! All right. That doesn't take him down, but holy shit, does that really fuck him up? All right, I put some at that. And give me a dex save, because they're definitely Hellish Rebuking your ass for hitting them.
All right.
Advantage. If
Advantage
you roll,
plus a D4.
Yeah. If you roll higher than a 13, you're going to take half of 12.
Higher than 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 14.
6.
So I take 6 damage.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Musharib suffering a similar fate, though, as he charges forth. Dex save for our buddy. He rolls a 7, not making it. Musharib. So basically, let's just kind of like thematically reskin this as you two both charging forth at the warlock. Actually, it doesn't really make sense, but yeah. So I'll just say his reaction spent, and Musharib doesn't get Hellish Rebuked, just to be nice for now. Because that was my mistake. So yeah, he's still standing. That puts up the Firelock or Firelock. I like that. The Firelock Newt. And he will use his bonus action to control the fire sphere. Give me a dexterity saving throw, Bjorn.
Okay.
As he uses his energy and he pulls the sphere forth back on top of you. Let's see if you can jump out of the way.
So I still use Bless on that.
Yep.
So that's 21.
21. You are out of the way. You take half of 6 damage, 3 fire damage. And that was his bonus action. He will use his regular action to cast Firebolt at Musharib. Sensing that he's in trouble, he rolls a natural 20, and Musharib is 100% unconscious. Musharib Firebolt right to the face, knocked down, and that puts Fletch up.
Right, Fletch is going to try and power shot the shit out of this warlock. And so he's going to attack the one that's healthier.
Okay.
Woo! With a modified 20, so that's 14 damage.
14 damage is going to hit.
Yep.
Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
God. 16 plus a d4.
You save, so only half damage on 16.
Whoa, 8 damage? Dang.
Yeah, that was a good one. 9 and 7.
See.
I believe that's is Bless concentration.
Yeah, so I need to beat 8. Which I don't.
Bless drops.
So Bless drops. Rip.
Hashtag no longer blessed.
not blessed. I'm gonna use the bonus action attack though, and whichever one looks weaker now, I'm going to take just a normal shot at.
Okay.
For 12 plus stuff for 6 damage.
6 damage takes him out. The attack that was landed on him literally almost killed him in one shot, the 22 damage. So that leaves one warlock left, and the reinforcement newts quick on their way. You know that you guys are in for a battle. If you don't think quick with Musharib down. Bjorn, you're now up next.
What part of my turn would it take for me to grab Musharib and kind of get him on the back line so he would be out of harm's way? Most of my turn, I would guess.
So Fletch is just gonna yell, "Don't worry about Musharib. I got him. Get those guys."
Okay. In that case, I will charge the remaining warlock.
Yep. He's not bloodied, but injured pretty badly.
Okay. So I'm not blessed anymore.
Not their armor isn't the best.
Natural 20.
Hey, that'll do it.
And I did use my reckless swing, so that was my second roll. Does it change anything?
Nope. You just still not 20.
Just a crit.
So it's 2 dice and 1 times the modifier.
No, you just double the dice and use the modifier once. Yeah, actually, that's what you said. Sorry.
So that's 21 damage.
Whew, that's a good crit. Go ahead and describe what it looks like as you cut him down.
I just slice him in half.
Yeah. No hellish rebuke this time. Can't hellish rebuke when you're dead. But then the reinforcement newts charge the battle lines, and they are all going to be nasty as fuck and use their spit attack. So let me just get ready to do some damage to you guys. Just give me a second here.
If they're attacking me, they have advantage on their rolls.
Yeah, that would be smart of them, but instead they decided to make you do a dex save. So they should have probably did that. But give me a dex save, Bjorn, first. DC 11.
9.
6 fire damage for you. Give me a dex save, Menez. If you roll higher than 11, half of 11, but then you're resistant to fire, so double half, I believe.
I got 19.
All right, so yeah, you take a quarter of 11. I believe that's how it works. Haroon, you've been kind of laying low in the front lines here, so give me a dex save, my friend.
Alrighty.
11 or higher, half of 10 damage. Less than 11, full 10.
15.
All right, half of 10. And last but not least, this one will make Bjorn again dex save. If you succeed, Bjorn, half of 9. If you fail, 9.
I do succeed.
All right, so then the 4 reinforcements charge into the room, basically climbing over each other like a pack of lizards, eager to swallow their prey. They get in front of you, forming a line, and start to regurgitate up this fire and just spit it all across the room. Luckily, Fletch in the back line is dodging most of this. So, Haroon, you're now up next as the room is just steaming with their fire spit.
Is the one me and Menez are engaging earlier still alive, like at our feet, or is it finally dead?
The one that was at your feet disengaged and got the reinforcements. So he's badly injured, sitting at the back line licking his wounds, but he will be up after you and Menez.
Alright. And both the warlocks are dead?
Yep. Just 5 regular fire newts, one of which badly injured at the back lines.
All right. Guess Haroon will charge at one of the nearest ones, and what would I need to roll to try to like bash it with my shield again and like knock it to the ground?
That's actually a feat. So
that
I
itself
mean,
is a feat.
thematically, you can use the shield to do that, but you would just do an athletics check against him to try and knock him on the ground.
It would just be a shoving attack. Yeah, the shield bash is actually a bonus action for the feat, but yeah.
I didn't know that. I might have to look into that one.
Yeah, shield bash is, or I can't remember what it's called, but shield master or something like that. Lets you like bonus action shove with your shield. But yeah, go ahead. It's a contest, so
Cool.
You got to beat a 17.
16.
You do not shove this guy. He's a little bit stronger and ready for your tactics. Anything else on your turn?
I'm going to action surge.
Nice.
And I'm going to attack this guy.
All right, go ahead. Start swinging up the Morning Star spike ball, ready to descend on an unfortunate creature's head.
18.
18's a hit.
10 damage.
10 damage. These reinforcements, you see that they I don't really know how to describe it, but they are a bit younger than the warriors that you were originally fighting, like basically the back of the line reinforcements.
The young blood.
Yeah, the young bloods. 10 damage is enough to take this one right out. One strike, just crush its head right into the ground. Anything else?
I guess he'll make like another turtley roar at the others, kind of like banging his shield.
All right, you bang your shield. They question the young bloods, the young flaming bloods don't know if they are up to the task, but nonetheless they are at the front door now. Seeing that you survived the fire spit, Menace, you let out a raging battle cry. 4 of these creatures still remain.
Absolutely. And Menez, like, just alongside Haroon, just like carves into the next one, hoping that it falls also.
Yep. You know their AC.
Yep. It does. Sorry, that was 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, it hits and does 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 points of damage is just like carves into the side of one of these things.
Yeah, so 4 points of damage. These guys are essentially just like minions. So you like literally now cutting through, just raging now battle for what feels like several minutes. You cut through, cutting one of these young fire newts down. Anything else on your turn? All right, that fire newt hisses out. The one that's injured, seeing you cut down the new recruits, the rookies, the young fire newts, it charges forth, desperate. It tries to scimitar you, Menez. You fall back, holding up your weapon, blocking. It strikes again, and you block both. It puts us at the top of the initiative. Musharib's first death save. 1 success for Musharib. Fletch, you're now up.
All right, Fletch is going to run up and kind of slide in next to Musharib and kind of place a hand on his shoulder and shake him to regain his consciousness as he expends a point of lay on hands to bring him back.
All right, 1 point. You hear Musharib. Are we dead?
Almost. We need you to fight now.
All right, he picks himself up. Bjorn, you're now up. 3 fire newts remain, 2 of which are young bloods, and 1 of which is badly injured.
Okay, they're currently engaged with Menace and Haroon.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, so I'll join in the fight and try to hit one with my great axe.
Okay. 16 or higher. If you're going for the young bloods, if you hit a 16, just describe what it looks like as you take one down, as they're essentially minions.
I hit natural 20, so I just chop his head off.
Yep. Clean cut.
As a bonus action, I can make another attack.
Is that your frenzied strike?
No, that's from the Great Weapon Master, since
Gotcha.
I killed him.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Go ahead.
So 16 on the other one.
Yep.
Is that a hit
You
as well?
take another one down. So basically, just a swinging axe move. Cut the head off. It drops down to the ground with a big kind of like audible slap of wet meat. And then the other one hisses at you, and you just rear up again. Cut him right down the center of his head, splitting him in two almost.
There you go.
Haroon, you're now up as the one injured fire newt is left, and it just looks desperate. It doesn't really know where to go. You guys are far more formidable than it thought you would be. What do you do, Haroon?
Does it look like it's completely cornered with nowhere to go, or is it like eyeballing a way to try to run?
So in this room that you find yourself in, the first forge, to your guys' right, opens back up into the room that you just came from, only basically through the crane. There's like this window. To the left of you guys is another door, which Musharib told you opens up into the magma shaft. And then behind the fire newt is a door where they came from, the secondary forge. So he has lots of options if he doesn't want to run.
And Haroon will get like a almost like resigned look to his face, and then say to himself, I am sorry, but I cannot let you run and warn the others. And then he will run up and attack him.
All right, you charge forth, 16 to hit. This guy's not quite one-hittable, but if you do enough damage, you might be able to kill him.
16.
Yep.
6 damage.
6 damage is just enough to not kill him. However, Menez, you're up next. This fire newt speaks out in Draconic. Does anyone speak out?
Nope.
No.
No one speaks Draconic. Yeah, you don't know what it's saying. Does Musharib speak Draconic? Nope.
Yeah, Menez is not going to try and kill this creature. She wants to take it down if it's possible.
Knock it unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and hit. Basically, you just choose to do non-lethal damage. If you hit, you knock it unconscious. It's at 2 HP.
Absolutely. So she just goes like hits with the side of the butt of her axe, and does it's quite tries to knock him unconscious basically.
Yeah, so it drops to the ground unconscious. I'm going to say you do, just to end it. We've been combating for a while now. So you knock it to the ground. It falls with a thud, breathing heavily. The heat has just been weighing on you all now, as you've been in here for several minutes since you first entered the Hrakhammar. What do you guys do as you find yourself in the forge? You see the iron, or basically as you look around, you see anvils. You see like 2 basically fountains of water where you presume that they would go to like cool off any of the tools that they needed to. And then obviously if you look down into the door where the reinforcements came into, you see another set of 2 anvils. You see what looks like some kind of machine that has been heating up this gray silver-like liquid metal, and the vat is actually draining out. And then you would get the sense that this small like drainage tube actually drains out into that other room that you guys came from, where you've seen the liquid metal that looks like silver.
I guess first, before anything else, Haroon will turn over and say, little friend, what happened to you? He'll like walk over and start like, trying to pat out because he got hit with the fire and that's what knocked him out, right?
Musharib, yeah, you see that his white beard is badly singed.
Yeah, he goes like try like pat out his beard, and we'll hand him a potion.
He says, I fucking hate fire.
Drink this, friend.
All right, go ahead and roll it for him.
All right.
You guys,
2d4.
2d4 plus 2.
All right.
Giving out potions like it's candy.
I bought 3. I got 1 left.
Nice.
Not
That's what the one is for, though. So good for you guys for using it. Would you heal him?
Or 7.
7, cool.
And I guess Haroon will drink his last potion himself because he's missing a good chunk of hit points for 7 as well.
All right. Breathing
8.
heavily. Yeah.
So he's back up to 28.
Musharib kind of mutters under his breath, I fucking hate fire newts.
I'll take a step towards the newt that's unconscious, raising my axe and just like shouting, finish him. Speaking to Menace, which would knock him unconscious.
Yes. Mushari would stand up too. Yes, Menace. These creatures are evil, right to the very core.
Menez holds her hand up to you, totally understanding what you're going to do, and says, but looks towards Musharif and says, you say there's keys we might need to get into the treasury if we're able to get that far.
He nods.
So perhaps we can get this information from this newt.
But nobody speaks Draconic.
But I can understand it.
What?
As Fletch explains that he knows some magic from his goddess that allows him to comprehend any language. But he also explains that he's feeling very limited in his connection right now, and he doesn't have a lot of power left. But he could do it in order to, we could mime and try and draw or something to know that we want the keys and then see what it says.
All right.
Because then again,
treasure is important, right?
Yeah, but he's as we can see also, this is like a young newt. It's a young one of the warriors. Maybe he knows nothing, so maybe you don't want to waste Fletch. But you guys decide.
It's a good point. Fletch would go around and start checking the bodies of the other newts to see if they have the keys or anything really that's useful.
Investigation check, and then I'm going to try to explain the rooms again. I imagine it's kind of a little bit confusing.
Fuck, man.
Explaining Dungeons Theater of the Mind is not always the easiest.
Whew, I just rolled off the 20, but I got a 13.
13? Okay. So, let me see here. Anybody else investigating?
I just want to know the unconscious newt. Was he the warrior that was injured, or was he one of the young buds?
The one that is unconscious was one of the regular warriors. Now that I think about it.
Okay, so he might know more than the other ones that were like the recruits.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm gonna check the bodies as well.
Okay, so yeah, as you check the bodies, 13. What else was rolled?
What was the check? Perception?
Investigation.
Investigation.
I'm actually going to screen share the dungeon too, because it's a little bit easier than just trying to explain these crazy corridors and whatnot. So basically, go ahead.
I was just going to say Haroon would, he's not necessarily the smartest person in the world, but he'll try to, if you can, like wake up, like you'd tie him up first, or take some rope out to secure. He'll try to wake up the fire newt and just blatantly just ask him, like, do you know where the key is?
Okay.
Like,
yeah, are you like tying him up or anything, or?
Yeah, I'm at least like binding his hands and stuff.
Now, interestingly enough, as you go to touch his skin, it's incredibly hot. So I'm going to say that you're not dumb enough to like take damage, but as you go to touch it, you see like and you pull your hand away. You get the sense that if you tied this thing up with rope, he would just burn it away. With an investigation of 16, though, I will say that there's like chain links around. So you guys just kind of tied up with a chain link. And as it's bound there, you start to see that the chain link does start to grow like a fiery hot. These creatures are, although not artistic, great at like actually just like building raw, crude shit. So it comes back to life. And as you ask, do you know anything about the keys? It just in Draconic.
He will ask it again in Aquan. If he gets anything out of that.
Which language?
Aquan.
That's like water people language. There's no way.
Yeah. I know. He's just cycling through the 3 languages he knows.
Yeah. It seems like even angered that you would speak that. I imagine that like if there was a language or like a race that Fire Newts would hate, probably Aquan would not be their most favorite dialect. So yeah, it gets even madder at you.
And then he will cycle to what was my 3rd language? I just wrote. Oh yeah, actually it's Dwarven. Yeah. He will ask in Dwarven, do you know where the keys are?
No, it's pissed at you.
And then he will go
Dwarf and Aqua.
Kind of shrug. He's like, I tried.
It's starting to try to break its way out, and it's just like lashing around. Trying to get out.
Would I be able to just like knock him out again? It's like, boom.
Punch it in the head. It falls back unconscious.
He'll look back to the group just like,
So I'm going to share my screen right now to show you the dungeon. Basically, if you follow my mouse, this is the smelter room where you guys originally started the fight in. You came around and came through this door, which is the armory. Your big fight that you just had was in this forge. So there's a door to the right that you haven't explored yet. And then the reinforcement / young bloods came from this southern room, which is another forge. And there's also another door unexplored to the right. As you look around with an investigation check, you don't necessarily see anything on their bodies. I'll say with a 16, you realize that silvery metal liquid is actually melted down adamantium.
Sweet.
Ooh.
I ask Mushari if there's anything we can do with that, considering our lack of like we're not a blacksmith, but
yeah, he laughs and says, "My friend, there is so many things I could do with that. I am like a musician with these metals. I can compose the most beautiful symphony you have ever heard, the sharpest composition, the strongest melody. I only need hours to do so." He kind of goes into like a poet, talking about forging and blacksmithing. Almost seems to like turn him on a bit. It's kind of weird.
All right.
Minas says, Masharif, what is possibly the quickest way to, the most direct way to the treasury? Can't hear you.
All right, yeah. I'll screen share again. So he says he walks you back to the forge, and along the wall, there's actually a lever, which he goes up and he pulls, and you start to hear the grinding of stone and like metal conveyor belts. And he opens up the door, which leads to a long hallway. And as you open up, you see this big magma rift, and this stone bridge is actually basically being drawn out across the magma rift and across the entire scorching hot basically bottom of a volcano. If you guys kind of follow out, you look up and you're literally, this part of it is the bottom of a volcano, and you look up and see the towering smokestack. It's very sulfurous in here. At this point, since you've spent quite a bit of time down here, guys, I'm going to need another Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Seven.
I fell.
Nice. That's what I like to hear, guys. What did the other two roll? What did Bjorn and Haroon roll?
I have 10.
Hey, that's good too.
I have 16.
16. Everyone but Bjorn, take a point of exhaustion.
Oh, damn, even with the 16?
No. Sorry, who rolled the 16?
Haroon,
yeah. 16 is good. 11 is not good. So whoever rolled the 11 gets a point of exhaustion. I thought that was Charles. Sorry. So you come forth though, and you see two suits of dwarven half-plate armor standing on either side of this adamantium banded iron door. These suits of armor were beautiful once, but they are now scarred with weapons and scorches of fire, which have literally covered, smeared in filth. The doors both have two locks on them, one above the other, and you can just tell that the fire newts have done everything in their power to get into these doors, but Musharib comes and pounds on it and laughs. Those idiot newts can never penetrate these doors. They're not smart enough. You see dwarvish etchings on the door. Luckily, you guys have your dwarven guide here, so literally there's not much of a mystery to solve. One of the doors says beginnings in dwarvish, and one of the doors says endings, or it says endings in dwarvish. And he says that there is two keys, which if you place in the right order, will unlock the doors. Finding the keys, however, will be a bit of an issue. Looking around, he would say that we could only assume what the newts would do. And we could spend hours down here, and I reckon that you all are not doing too well with the heat. So, Musharib always has a backup plan. Follow me. And he actually walks you to a little alcove just west of the magma rift that you guys are in, and he opens up, and it just seems like basically a opening of empty space. There's nothing really going on, and he pushes away at a section of the wall, and it breaks, and a lockbox pulls open, and he shows you it and says, "These is the molds to make 2 new Mastercraft keys. I only need a few moments to make new keys, and the treasury is ours." It's kind of less fun figuring out the puzzle when the dwarf that knows everything about it is here.
Let's do it.
Yeah, in the actual campaign itself, it would be a lot harder if you didn't bring Mushari, but luckily you guys have him. So he goes back, and it begins. The only problem is it is going to take him a bit of time, and I'm looking it up right now, but yeah, it is going to take him an hour.
All right.
An hour.
Sounds like a short rest to me.
Yeah, that's not good.
Which room is he going to be in? Which room
What's
does
that?
he need to be in?
He's going to go back to the forge,
Okay.
and basically he's going to use some of that liquid adamantium and forge up some nice new Mastercraft keys.
Not in the first room we entered, the last one with the warlocks, right?
Yes, the forge room where you fought the warlocks for the first time.
Well, yeah, I guess either we wait and hold guard in case anybody else comes in, or we go and see check the room from where the Youngbloods came from.
Yeah, up to you guys.
Well,
Haroon.
go for it.
No, I was like, this is the moment where Haroon rolls for the random shit he decides to pull out of his shell for everybody. And what I get. I got max roll. He pulls out a smoked fish and offers it to anybody who's willing to try while they wait.
Anyone interested in a mysterious smoked shellfish?
Yes, I have a table I wrote down of random shit he will pull out of his shell to offer to people.
Musharib, as you guys go to work, we have like a montage scene of him working over the anvil. You pull out like a smoked fish, and he just like instinctively takes it out of your hand and starts to like eat at it. Looks a little bit upset at first, but then shrugs and continues to eat, pounding away at some metal and basically dumping some liquid metals into the mold. What else do you guys want to do as we're kind of montage scening here? Do you want to explore more of the Hrakhammar?
What do you guys think?
It's up to you. Minez says, because for her the main thing would be just as long as we can like fortify, just make sure this place is guarded, so he's got time to finish the keys. But if it seems like it's safe enough, we could go on. But otherwise, I think just make sure that he's going to be. It's safe that no one comes and like attacks us, so we can finish it.
Yep.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, so you guys fortify the walls then. You push a couple of the iron caskets in the way, blocking off any of the entries, and you ready yourselves. Another hour down here is definitely another Constitution saving throw, guys.
Does it count as a short rest?
Yeah, you guys can short rest for sure.
So we can get back some HP?
You can use some of your hit dice, that of which you haven't spent, though. At level 3, you only have 3 hit dice.
Yeah. So
What's the DC?
The DC, since you currently are down here, I'm actually going to say is 12. So you're good.
All right. I got a 15.
Okay.
the first point.
Oh, wait. But if we already have one, then isn't it a disadvantage?
Nope. So first point of exhaustion is disadvantage on ability checks. Second point of exhaustion is half speed. Third point of exhaustion is disadvantage on saving throws.
Got you.
Okay. So DC 12.
Would they get advantage for the fish?
No. Try though. So everyone rolled? Everyone roll higher than a 12 or?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a 15.
All
I've got 2 points of exhaustion. She's just really, oh my god, so she's like trying to stand guard. She like just slumps up against the wall, slides down it. As best as possible, she's just like, she puts her hands on her shoulder from the old pain and just like checks through her body with all the burn singes, and she's just, her lungs are just burning.
Yeah. No one comes. So an hour goes by as you just, this heat is completely unnatural to you, Minez. You don't know how any living creature can live in this, but nonetheless, the dwarf works away, literally like a composer of a symphony as he goes through and just carefully handles this liquid metal that's hot enough to just disintegrate human skin. He seems to just know exactly what he's doing, and finally, after an hour goes by, he kind of calls everyone's attention to the room as he's eager to show off his handiwork, and he tugs at the two molds and then poof, breaks them off. And you see two perfectly beautiful Mastercraft keys ready to go, each with an etching of a dwarven B and a dwarven E at the bottom of them. You march forth. You're not even actually bothered. Probably to your surprise, no one comes in the full hour. You walk across the magma bridge, ready to see your spoils, and this is going to be some stuff. So let's see what's in here. I'm actually going to figure it out with you guys.
All the money.
Undead gorilla.
Shut up.
Undead gorilla dragon. So you open up the treasury door. It kind of clanks open. And what you see is, actually, this is literally going to be a surprise to me as it is to you guys. I'm actually like looking right now. The first thing that you see is literally a shitload of adamantium ingots, which have a ton of uses and are also worth quite a bit of money. You see 80 of these adamantium ingots laying around. They're all worth about 10 gold a piece. So 800 gold worth of ingots.
What's it? Ingots? What is that?
Just like basically raw metal material in bar form, ready for harvesting, ready for use for like basically forging. I believe it's like a refined version of the ore into like a metal bar, basically. So the ingot could be brought back to town and sold directly for 10 gold, or if you bring it to a smith, he can like literally build you adamantium armor and weapons and stuff, which pretty dang good.
Lit.
I will go ahead and ask this. Hiram will try and pick up a few of those bars because they are very shiny and he likes that.
Yeah. So, basically, he would thank you, and I'm going to say that there's more than 80, but within reason, I'll say that you all can carry 80 ingots as a group back, and that's what he gives you. He's like, thank you for your help. This I can give to you. There's actually, surprisingly enough, just basically ingots there, which are just pure Hrakhammar, perfectly refined adamantium ingots. And then finally, what he was waiting for, sitting at like this basically altar, holding it up, is this gauntlet. And I actually imagine it like looking like basically like an infinity gauntlet for dwarfs. There's like these finely encrusted gemstones on it. It's made of like pure adamantium. And he walks forth and he just goes up and grabs it and time stones you guys and absolutely kills you in one flash. He puts it on and he says that this is Moradin's gauntlet. Basically for the king of Hrakhammar, the master blacksmith, the master forge specialist, and he puts it on and he says, although this has so much value to it, its value can never be put to gold for him. And he finally puts it on one of the very few albino dwarves left. And he says that he'll be able to basically forge great things with this. If we get these ingots back to town, he promises to suit you guys up with some fine adamantium gear.
I'm down.
Yeah,
all right. Yeah, interesting. I literally, that was a surprise to me what was in there. The glove itself looks like it would be worth a fuckload, but you can tell that this just means so much to Musarib, and you hear him like, thank you guys so much. You don't know what this means to me to finally have the gauntlet back to the dwarves.
And Haroon will walk over to him, like place saying that he, kind of goes in for a hug first, and then he gets like a very angry look.
No, this time he lets you hug him. He full on just gives you a hug. Oh,
he's like, there, little friend. Yeah. I am glad I could help.
So
this is what it was for.
Absolutely. With that, the Treasury, Morden's Gauntlet has been back. He tells you that with a lot of the fire newts taken out and the Morden Gauntlets retrieved, he thinks that enough has been done that if the dwarves really wish to, they could come back in and wipe out the rest, whatever is remaining. He says that you guys have done enough, and he can tell that you're exhausted. So he asks you all if you're ready to get out of here.
Absolutely.
Yes, I want to see the sun and moon again. I do not like being underground.
He says, then follow me, and he'll actually take you out a different exit. And as you do, you come down to that basically minecart bay that I said that you guys could short rest into.
Oh, fuck.
And Corey's getting nervous because he knows the end of my sessions are always just a shit show. But what you see is 4 giant striders tied up. The bird-like creatures that the fire newts rode in on. They're not necessarily that impressed to see you guys, but maybe with an animal handling check, you guys can have a sweet whip back down the mountain.
Would one of these things even be big enough for Haroon to ride on?
I'm pretty sure they're large creatures, but let me double check.
Haroon's like 6.5 feet tall, 450 pounds. That's like the average stats for a turtle.
Do all of us have at least one level of exhaustion? Because this means we're at disadvantage trying this shit.
Yeah, I think almost everyone.
I don't.
Yeah. The giant striders are large creatures, so yeah, they can easily shoot on your back.
Well, I got a 6.
I got a 6 as well, I don't believe it. And I've got questions. Crazy.
Yeah, make an animal handling as well.
10.
So what's mine for that?
Disadvantage, that's pretty decent.
I have +1, so let's hope this goes.
I was expecting some like Donkey Kong minecart shit.
I got a 20.
20. How do I want to handle this though? Because everybody else rolled abysmally.
Could I try something? Because
what do you got?
She's just totally. I mean, she's just stumbling, exhausted. The animal can see just her weakness and stuff, and I'm trying my best to just attune to this creature, and there's no way. It's totally failing. But she just gets uses her last rage. She wants to subdue mentally this, just in some way, just over intimidate this.
Give me an intimidation check.
Yeah. I got -1.
Haroon just go ahead. Haroon just pulls a lizard out of his lizard on a stick and hands it to the bird.
I get a natural 20.
Hey, then yes. I will be benevolent GM and let you with that. What do you do? You just battle cry at it?
Yeah, she seeing that she's just filled with this thing. She just thinks back to her where she's from, the rainforest, and she just roars truly as a bear, as she just holds onto the front of this thing. In its face, just slavering and stuff.
Yeah, and with that, you scare the creature enough to earn respect. The 5 of you jump onto the Great Striders, and you ride out of Hrakhammar. You ride down the Kobold Mountains into the Valley of the Lost Honor, through the jungle. Cue the Chocobo music as you guys are just having a great journey back. With that, I'm going to say that you don't actually need to make Constitution saving throws all the way back to the ship. The journey is expedited significantly by these creatures, and when you get to the ship, this is the greatest adventure ever. Ortame has the ship fixed up and basically ready to go. You even made double the time. You thought it was going to be a 10-day, but with these birds, you make it back in 7 days. Just loaded to the tits with adamantium ingots, $800 worth of gold, Mording's gauntlet retrieved, and the promise of adamantium armor at your disposal. You get back to the ship, though. You start loading up the goods. And then in the bay, you see a ship begin to pull in. Give me a perception check, everybody.
Reinforcements? 15.
15.
Disadvantage again?
Yeah, this is at disadvantage. You guys are still exhausted.
Still 15.
12.
I got 10.
You determined. 15.
15
Okay.
for me.
All right, 15 or higher. You see the flag. It's not a pirate flag, which is maybe what you think at first. But you see this completely blue flag. And in the center of it,
And I got a 14.
is a burning, flaming fist.
They want to take our share of everything we've just got. That cannot happen, Mina says.
Can we hide the ingots?
As she just like crumples down under that exhaustion that she's feeling. They can't take this. That can't work.
The ship quickly begins to bay beside you, and you all, those who recognize it, 15 or higher, know these as the Flaming Fist, a empire of sellswords that have recently come to Chult, and they basically have claimed themselves as the saviors of Chult and the vanquishers of the death curse. They go out into the jungle on these expeditions and they raid lost cities and ruins for what you hear a lot of gold, led by the commander and the feared woman Lyra Partir. These people have come to Chult, and while they claim to be saviors, many see them as greedy sellswords that they are. And recently they have claimed that the jungle is theirs. And for anyone to go out into the jungle, they must buy a charter of exploration, which gives you permission to explore what they have called their jungle. You see, as they pull up to your ship, a woman decked out in this heavy armor. She sweating profusely, has a bunch of gruff looking mean sellsword bandits, or not bandits, soldiers with him. And she smiles. What the man? Fancy seeing you out here. What is it we have with you? Is that for adventurers, I see? Looking at you for. Busharib puts the gauntlet behind his back instinctively, like a child.
How many of them are there actually?
On this ship, they are like a full frigate, about 30 crew.
And there's no way we can like outsell these. Are we still on the land? Are we in the when they
kind
come
of
on?
caught you at bay, right? So they pulled into the bay. So you could try to outsail them, but they are decked out in cannons. So
That's probably a bad idea.
yeah, they are from Boulder's Gate, and they are basically the richest sellsword company that exists in Toril. So this ship is like decked out. I imagine that they're like basically anchored now beside you. Ordame, a fearless captain kind of stiffens up, for she's heard of the presence of this woman. This woman's name is Gerta Hellsdottir, and she is the second in command of the Flaming Fist, only answering to Lyra Partir.
From rumors that we've heard before, what do we normally give payment before we go out, even into the jungle. But what happens normally in the situation we're in now? Do they take everything, or do they take something?
I've heard varying rumors, but to be caught out in the jungle without a charter of exploration, you think things are going to get pretty bad for you.
Okay.
I mean, I as a player didn't even know this existed until right now. Is it a thing everyone knows about? Like,
know.
and how much are they?
Definitely in the group. It's been posted a couple times now, and
How
they
much
are 50 gold each. So, or 50 gold
Yeah.
a person, actually.
I would
It's
just have one.
You would have one?
Yeah,
Perfect.
totally.
So she walks up. I'll give you guys the benefit because the group's new and you haven't known yet. So you see her, and a bit of relief comes over you. You've bought a charter of exploration. Gerda, Hal's daughter, you feel like you have nothing to fear, correct? You guys don't want to try to sail away?
Yeah.
Is it like each person needs one, or is
Nope.
it like just
One 50 gold charter buys enough for the party to go out into the jungle and explore.
Oh, lit. So everyone probably just wouldn't know I have it then.
Yeah. You're probably all like shooting your pants. And then she will, if you guys aren't going to sail away, basically dock, and she sails over and just says, "My name is Gerta Hausdatter. I am the second in command of the Flaming Fist. It appears that you four are a part of an expeditionary crew. I recognize Musharib as one of the guides. No offense, but I would just like to see your charter of exploration and a total of the goods you currently have aboard."
So she comes on the boat with us. This herself and how many other people?
She is backed up with 3 mean-looking, decked out in long swords, and a couple, like a short sword and a crossbow on their sides. Like, these guys look like they're definitely trained fighters. 3 of them, and then she also has someone else in a chain shirt that is looking maybe like a cleric or a priest-like type, and actually has a medallion of Helm.
Well, I'm just like stiffen up and I stare them down because I don't know. We have the charter, but I don't want us to get robbed of everything we got.
And Haroon not basically knowing jack shit about who these people are, will do the dumb thing and like walk up and go, "Hail, new friends. My name is Haroon." And they like hold a hand out for like a handshake.
The 2 of the 3 men that walk beside her step out and shove you away.
And he goes, "Whoa, no need to be rude."
I don't mean to be rude, but formalities here. A report of your goods and your charter, please.
Yes, of course. So Fletch would speak up, and he would drop his pack and pull out the charter, and then he would attempt to speak in Celestial to see if she understands.
Okay, interesting. I can actually tell you if she does.
Or the clerics or anyone there, and he would kind of just bid them hello and explain that I share your noble purpose. I'm here to save the world and the land from this blight.
The world, and this is in Celestial.
Yeah, and then if they look confused, he would say it in common.
Gruta does not understand. She kind of looks at you confused. But the cleric woman standing beside her, her name is Silu. She smiles and says, responding in Celestial, "The world is lucky to have you, champion. It is best if you listen to what the lieutenant is saying."
Of course, I will abide by the law of the land. You can't be a hero if you don't do that.
So you show the charter. She pulls it out and starts to read over it. And a report of the goods found today on this expedition.
And he would explain that he is carrying exactly what he has: the 20 ingots, like 100 bolts, and the half plate, and that his friends have their shares of their own treasures.
She says, kind of a smile comes across her face. "A very good find, my friends. A bountiful harvest for you all. I'm very proud. And although you look a bit exhausted, you all seem to be standing pretty formidably. You must really be a strong group of adventurers. Perhaps even the ones to find out what is going on with this death curse." She hands back the charter to you and then looks to her men. "You heard them. 80 ingots. The Moradin the Gauntlet of Morden, I think it's fair that we take 40 of them. And we'll take that gauntlet off your hands, my friend. Musharib's like, oh,
Haroon,
fuck no.
Haroon will speak up, like trying to like offer his full share of the adamantium, and a chance to for Morden to keep the gauntlet. Trying to say it's important to him and his people that it should stay with him, and he will gladly give up his share in exchange.
So without a persuasion, you can make a persuasion check, but what she is going, or let's just see what the persuasion says. Roll this persuasion first.
Persuasion. What is
disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Yeah.
Well, I have no bonus or negative in it, so we'll see how this goes.
Suspense.
14.
14. She says, yes, I can see that gauntlet holds grave importance to your friend. But you must understand that we, the Flaming Fist, are the saviors of this land. And everything that we confiscate goes towards the fight of defeating the death curse. Our cause is nobler than anybody's, and we must give up our materialistic trinkets for the greater of all of Toril. Everything that we take goes towards fighting the death curse. I'm sure you all can agree with that.
I say we paid your damn charter. Why would you want to steal us from our hard-earned ingots?
Stealing is not what we are doing, my friends. We are an honorable group of people. The charter clearly explains that you are merely purchasing permission to go out into the jungle and explore, and that half of the goods that you find are definitely indeed yours. And you're like, half of the goods? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
And it's at that point that when you look at the document, you know that it's literally like one of those shittily long, overdrawn out documents that have so much like jargle and jumble in it that it like you stop reading it. But then she would point out in the fine print that half of what you find is confiscated or expected to be given to the Flaming Fist for proceeds of actually dealing with the death curse. So these guys full on, just like without a doubt, are fucking ripping you guys off hard.
Yeah, it's like written at the very bottom of the page, and like the tiniest handwriting you can get from like a fairy site hand.
And
like,
it's like
and half of it's
written
ours.
It's written in like an obscure language that you would mistake as like just etchings and runes. But yeah, as you see this, Gerta smiles at you, and you can just see that this bitch is like a greedy, conniving sellsword, and that everything that she is saying to you is complete and utter bullshit. But nonetheless, the document is there, and she waits expectantly.
What are our chances of getting away with that? Just like escaping.
Not good.
Fuck.
I mean, it's her a cleric, 4 probably paladins that all have divine smites and are probably like
30 more guys on the boat, and a literal ass ton of cannons. 1 metric ass ton of cannons.
We just have to chump up, I think. I don't know if there's any way really around this. I think what I would try. This is gonna seem so bad at first. So Fletch would say, I understand that you deem to take half. However, the gauntlet that you see before you is priceless in nature. So if you want to take that, it is worth more than double of the ingots that we have. I would request that you take just the gauntlet and leave us with those ingots so that we can search into the jungle more well-armored and more prepared.
Like cuts off like fucking hell, you will take this gauntlet from me. The only way you will remove this gauntlet from me is by stripping it from my dead body.
Yeah, Haroon will like
no way
put both. Haroon will like put both of his hands on his little dwarven friend, like, you know, just like holding him in there, like his legs are kicking in the air, trying to get at her. It's like, no, friend, calm down. And he'll like give like a
He's like cursing
for a
under his
turtle.
breath,
It's a
fucking flame, fucking self-ford bitch, conniving greedy whore, and just like
and he'll like just like hold. He'll just like hold him like away, and just like, you know, just give a very like, you know, he's a turtle. He can't really drum up an angry look.
And Goethe doesn't
like,
even seem to be bothered. Like, she's smiling. She knows that no matter what happens in this, she is the victor. She is walking out on top. And it's just, she's not even hiding her pleasure in this.
Yeah, Melissa takes a step back towards the side of the boat with the ropes and stuff, and she like really again disconnects from the group for a moment, disconnects from the situation, and she also realizes for a fact we're not coming out on this on top. No, this just not going to happen, and she just slumps against the side slightly.
Do I need to roll persuasion on my attempt there?
For her to take the gauntlet,
Just the gauntlet and leave everything else?
yeah, but no persuasion is going to let you convince Musharib to give it up.
But why don't we do reverse? Like, give them the adamantium, and at least like Musharib is gonna.
She'll never take that. At least that's what me and Fletch are thinking.
Well, we can, because yeah.
It's up to you. Basically, your biggest hurdle is Musharib. This is like a relic and pretty much like probably the most prized possession of the albino dwarfs, and they have not seen it in like probably decades, if not centuries. And to have this gauntlet back in the albino dwarfs is probably like a historical moment to their race. So like literally the value of it is, like you said, absolutely priceless. Like, you get a sense that this dwarf would sooner die by drowning himself in the bottom of the ocean than let this sellsword bitch, as she calls him,
All right,
take it from him.
Well,
But if you want to try to persuade him or do something to Musharib, maybe you can talk some sense into him.
So yeah, that was my persuasion to her. I got a 15 on the roll.
To her, she would study the gauntlet behind Musharib's back, who like literally is like, no, don't you even look at it.
I would walk up to Musharib and like whisper in his ear, like, we'll steal it back later.
He's not going to buy that.
He's not.
But
I would whisper him again. You know that they're not leaving without it. We can't fight them here for it. We have to just lose for now.
What's everybody else doing before we solve it?
Well, does that work?
And I don't know if I need to roll to persuade Musharib, but that would be an 18.
Okay. Let's turn this into a. I'm just making this up as I go right now.
Like a skill challenge.
But basically, like a what would be the? I don't even know how to put this to words. But how does each person trying to reason with Musharib, giving up his most prized possession, something that's probably more important than his life? How one success?
Well, I kind of disagree with that. I don't think we should rip him off of his family gauntlet. Like
So Fletch has got it. All right, here it is. So he turns around and goes, but wait, no, and then he would explain that the gauntlet is most valuable in the hands of someone who can wield it properly. And so in exchange, we'll give them all of our ingots to allow the gauntlet to stay with Musharib, but that we promise that Musharib will like lend his abilities with the gauntlet to help the fist.
Yeah, that's pretty decent. With an 18, does anyone else want to do anything else? Because that literally, unfortunately, means that you guys are basically walking out empty-handed.
But walking out. So
we also have Musharib on our side, though. If they listen, that's a really
Harun
good point.
will
that shit.
Haroon will make a history check to think of a old turtle saying to try to, some way calm him down.
All right, go ahead and roll it.
And I got a 21.
Oh, damn. Does anyone else want to do anything before we pan forward to what Musharib says?
Yeah, maybe just
go for
aid Fletcher, actually, if that's possible. She's like nodding and just if it's possible to aid in any way.
Sorry, say again. Was that to Fletch, or was that?
That was to you. If it's possible to aid Fletch.
Oh,
can
okay,
I?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I thought you were talking to him. That's my bad. He already rolled an 18. Go ahead and roll an advantage.
Yep, the 18 still the best.
Okay, and
but yeah, I think I would stick with the
Yeah.
keeping the gauntlet with Musharib makes the most sense. He'll use it to help the fist as well as everyone else in the jungle.
Is Bjorn on boat with this? Because basically, like, this is a group decision. So
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna attempt to go with the group's decision by trying to intimidate them and saying, just get our adamantium and leave, or this will get bloody. And
Bruh, I don't know about that.
I like it. Go ahead and roll it. Let's hope for a natural one.
Let's be like, I have no intention of anything happening here.
What's your roll?
God, don't roll.
That's an 11.
When you say that things are going to get bloody here, the three men smile as if like you're literally promising them such a happy occasion. Gerta holds up a hand and pushes them back, though, and she walks up to you. This woman that stands about 5'10" and decked out in her plate armor. She walks up to you, and you hear the clunking of her armor as she steps forth, the creaking beneath the floorboard. As she stands, you see the wrinkles on her face, and her hair is neatly tied back, and she looks you in the eyes and says, "Do not make promises you're not willing to keep."
Menez looks at her fellow barbarian and just nods, because for her this is almost bigger than this in a way.
And then with that, Bjorn, you're having a stare down with her, and she smiles and says, "The adamantium and the dwarf's services. Until the Flaming Fist has decided we are done with him. It is a deal. And a good one for you. Nice job out there, gentlemen. May your next expedition be just as bountiful." And she turns away. Her men start to go through the deck, picking up your precious ingots, your $800 worth of gold, your decked out weapons and souped up armor are carried away. And not only that, but 50 gold the lesser, Corey, for buying that exploration.
Yeah. Well, I had like 150 gold. I didn't spend. I just didn't have anything to buy.
So Musharib looks at you, and as they're walking away, they stop and look expectantly. You're like, "What else do you want from us?" "Dwarf, you are part of the agreement.
Oh shit.
Come aboard the ship. You have much work to be doing." And with that, he looks back to you all, and he says to you, "This is fucking bullshit. Tell me we all write this. Tell me we will not put up with this. This is greed. This is corruption. Is this truly what you want?"
And Haroon will like walk up to him once again, just put his hand on his shoulder, just like, I fear today the moon and sun does not shine well on us. But look at it this way, friend. You have the gauntlet. Your people have a home again, should they wish to take it. I think we shall put up with these simple evils, you know, kind of pointedly glaring at these mercenaries. And then, like, for the betterment of us. We've done a good thing here. It must end somewhat badly. But at least your people have what they need. Be thankful for that.
He nods. And he goes to walk. What do you say?
I'll just grunt and like spit on the floor while continuing to stare down at the soldiers.
They just smile at you. Musharib goes and walks. Gerta clears her throat. Men, I feel this wolf might have a bit of hatred in his heart for us. Don't know if we can trust him. Bind him. We won't make any exceptions.
Oh my god.
And then they go up to him and they shackle his arms and his legs together and start to pull him. And he just looks back to you guys. And just gives you a look like this is what our adventure led to. It's not necessarily anger. He understands what you guys are doing, but just corruption as one today, you feel. They pull him up to the boat, basically shove him onto the rowboat and row over. Gerda goes to the front of the ship, the helm or whatever. She gives you one last smile and a wave. Good luck out there, gentlemen. And anchor pulled up and they sail away.
Fuck you, man.
That feels so bad. That feels so bad.
I'm actually like cringing because I feel like I feel you guys' hatred for me right now.
I'm gonna make nightmares. I'm gonna have nightmares.
But yeah, with that, Ordame lets out a sigh and she comes up to you and says, "Listen, I know that was hard. I know you hate that woman, but you made the right choice." She would tell you that she just had word that Lyra marched a parade of flaming fish soldiers through Nyanzaru and peacefully yet forcefully has claimed the city as theirs to protect. The Flaming Fist's fiery hold has taken over Nyanzaru and the jungles, and you are one of the first groups to feel what their corrupted grasp are capable of. You sail back to Nyanzaru uneventfully. Strangely enough, the pirates aren't even bothered with you. The pirates apparently didn't bother with the Flaming Fist.
Oh.
You make it back to the Nyanzaru port, and you now see that banners of Flaming Fist have filled the marketplace streets. You see the soldiers walking the streets. And like I said, although it wasn't forceful, there was no battle, it was done completely peacefully. The Flaming Fist now stand in Port Nyanzaru. And that is where we will end the adventure.
Oh my.
Fuck, man.
They just took everything.
All right,
I
guys.
feel so bad that
We're
he's
still
like
alive.
essentially a slave now.
You're still alive. I feel real bad, guys, but shit is happening.
Menez. Haroon will remember and like at least mention it to Menez that doesn't one of the merchant princes owe us a favor from the previous job we did of finding that criminal?
Yeah, but I think what's happening now, these people that are in charge, they're probably settled in with the pirates or part of the pirates, but it's just this is just crazy. This is just this is over our head. That's the reality of it.
A lot is going on. This is going to start like I don't really know what to call it, but it's going to be like the first community arc where a lot of decisions that are going to be made from here on out are going to dramatically change the world a lot more. So you guys felt the first of it. You made it with your lives, but I imagine that feels pretty bad. You guys get 3 XP checkpoints. You guys get 1 treasure point. But literally, that is it. You went out for a 10-day long journey and came back empty-handed. And your friend Musharib essentially taken as a slave. That's where we'll end it, boys. Does anyone want to say anything in closing before we go out?
How much of... Oh, sorry, it's a bit of a question, but how much XP is it to level up?
We'll handle all that out of chat. Just I'll end the broadcast and I'll go tell you the guys the finer details. With that, though, great session, guys. Thank you.
That was actually really fun.
Thank you for being good sports about it. I know that never feels good, and like as a DM, I feel bad. But I promise that storylines and quest lines are going to start shooting open now, as a lot of things are going to start happening from this. With that, though, we're going to close it out. Thank you for anyone who watched, and thank you guys for playing. That was a really fun session. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah.